How about that? Well, how about this?
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Having my first cup of coffee today. Well, you have one when you get home. I do
Right.
sometimes. Yeah. Yesterday I was on the phone talking to my sister. Right out the
Mm-hmm.
gate, man. Hello, hello. I wake up to a brand new world every day, which is episode 1155 of the 4 o'clock shadow. Carrie in the house saying, "Hey, gents." Hello, Carrie.
Oi,
How's your
oi,
voice?
Karen. Sabaloi.
Oi, oi, the wheel before it falls off. I don't know. 40 weight, maybe. Uh, uh, hopefully it didn't get too hot for you, like a candle.
Oh,
Shadowhawk.
dude. It's fucking horrible
Yeah.
again today. It's supposed to be probably just as bad again tomorrow.
I don't wash my clothes. I wring them out after I get off work.
Mm, pretty
He
much.
drives to work in a canoe. He took John Malin's grab an oar, literally.
Yeah.
Carrie, would you believe I got 5 adults on a live stream earlier to sing happy birthday to Shadow? It made my day.
Oh, that's awesome, Carrie. Happy birthday,
Wow.
Shadow.
That's cool.
I won't be
Uh,
singing today, though. Sorry, Carrie.
but Carrie, did you go on the stream? Were you on the stream? You have been on streams before.
Yeah, she's been on before.
Howbeit it's been a while that I know of. Yeah, it is Shadow's birthday, not this Shadow. That's why I didn't put
Not
it in
this
the.
one.
I didn't want to cause confusion. Everybody like KSSS and whoever else would be coming in and saying, "Happy birthday, Shadowhawk!" And Shadowhawk's birthday is in March. But this
Yeah.
Shadow, the cat Shadow, Carrie's cat,
Little black
is
kitty.
is
Hello, Eric
is
and Boyd in the house. Good to see you, Eric.
Yes. What I put down? 11 years old. 11 years old today. So
Yeah.
congratulations on that. Feeding that cat well. You know, is Shadow your cat? Yes. Yes. I was to ask if you could match them. Laugh out loud. Think you should get on
Carrie says, I don't
stream.
feel safe being on panels.
Don't feel safe being on panels. Okay. Well, I don't feel safe when she is on a panel. Wait. Anyway, uh, man, I was on the phone with my sister and dug up this. Maybe you can tell me what it is. A little bit of it exposed, and I pulled it out of the earth. It was on an old burn pile. She started talking about, well, did those flowers come up on the bare patches to
Mm,
fill in the bare patches and I'd forgotten we did that altogether. And I saw this. Uh, I'm forever digging up stuff out of my yard, and that's like an iron rod of some
oh, wow.
type.
Huh.
Now, on the back property away from that, uh, a swing that I dug up at one time, and some bricks, the push-up point. So I don't know. That's not showing up too well. This is more the smaller stuff that's growing, the
Oh,
flowers that I put out which is about the only flowers are these little
oh,
bitty
wait a
ones.
minute. Wait. Did Rex get his new phone going?
No, this is not a new phone.
Oh,
Why?
that's not. Okay. If that
No,
meant,
no. About the only is just these little bitty flowers, little white flowers. But now, when you look at it from away, it's like that. See that? It's really coming up. And I imagine that's probably, my sister said the seeds that she got and took back home in her place, the lavender came up. I imagine this is lavender. This is where I
Wow.
pour the old water from the turtle every day, every other day in there. And I've been watering them every day. I got out early before I went to bed and watered both
That
these.
turtle water is good boy.
This is kind of, well, yeah, because it has little stuff that in the water that the turtle didn't eat. So that's probably good biodegradable,
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
it's probably got a little
fertilizer.
turtle poop in there.
That too. Yeah, yeah.
Hail, Peter Orchard Studios. Good to see you, Peter.
So Flower's doing good. Hey, Peter. How's it going, everyone? He says, who knew
Oh,
Rex
mama.
has green fingers? Yeah, maybe a green thumb, huh? Yeah, I put that down on the calendar a long time ago. Carrie's cat Shadow turning 11 today. So happy
Yeah.
birthday, meow meow, to you.
Oh, Rex, happy
What?
little feller from your little turtle. He's still doing okay, right?
He's doing good, yeah. What the? I just like playing with the buttons. I'm sorry, folks. If you haven't backed Devil Flyer, be like JR and back Devil Flyer. I went to the
RJ.
bank yesterday and what did I say, JD?
He said JR, but yeah, close.
Oh, JR. Who shot JR? Okay. We know
Who
who
shot
shot.
RJ? Oh no.
I don't remember who shot Larry Hagman, actually.
Uh,
But it was
I
probably
don't know if I can
Barbara
remember either.
Eden it was probably Barbara Eden that put the hit on him, for I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
No, nothing's happened to the turtle. The turtle's cool. Turtle is cool. Eric. One of my subscribers is obsessed with turtles. He has several pet ones. Okay. A lot of
Oh,
people collect little collectible turtles, kind of like frogs. I know one fat man that eats pie and collects turtles and draws them. He's obsessed with, wait a minute, not turtles, frogs
rocks. Yeah.
and salamandroid. I mean, salamander.
Hmm.
Albeit cyber froggy type, cyber enhanced.
Yes. Yes. A little, not your average turtle and salamander.
Not your average turtle, no. So I slept most of the day, but I didn't go to bed till the sun was up. I was watching
Well, you said
Gunsmoke.
you got a late start last night, right? You didn't start till 8?
I did. I got a light start. Went to Paragould. Did Zone 1, and if I finished that, I was supposed to go to Zone 5. I did some of 1 and went to 5 anyway, and then came back to 1, which is not really what you're supposed to do, but I don't care. Tattletale in the truck or not. There's
Pale Rider in the house. Good to see you,
there's
sir.
somebody I've kind of made a friend, over the years with. That's he's a small Indian guy, not the woo 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 kind, If you're offended by that, I'm sorry. No offense meant. Hey,
The question is push starter pull.
Omer contacted me earlier and said, "Are you up?" Like about 1:30. It was like, no, I wasn't. Sorry about that, Omer. Carrie, do you collect them from the 4 o'clock Shadow Pale Rider? It gives me the creeps, horse, and spiders, Eric. Frogs creep me out, Carrie says. One showed up in my garden, and I decided that day having a garden is overrated. Wow.
Oh, frogs aren't that bad.
Hell Rider collects
Really?
bad habits. Well, we knew that. One
Yeah,
of my
we can provide plenty of those.
Yeah. Rex and his racism. El Hydra. Oh, man. Anyway, what a wacky day. So, yeah, I made friends with a little Indian guy, and he lives on the left part of the building, right, with his family. I believe maybe his father or father-in-law and his wife. I got to see his wife in the background too. Um, both of them. One Christmas, I delivered them a dump cake. There's your dump cake representation, Carrie. Um, uh, and anytime I get a chance, get Zone 5. Now he's all the way out. I mean, on the freaking line of the city limits. And on one side, like I say, is his house where they live, and then a liquor store. On the
Oh,
You could not live that way, Shadow. You would drink up all the profits.
yeah.
And there's a little motel.
Oh, they own both of them, or?
Yeah, a little bit motel, which is kind of like cinder block motel. It's nothing,
Mm.
you know. I don't know. I had last year. I had a boy and his father come out and give me a drink of water for spraying the mosquitoes around the motel.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
every time I go, I get a Coke or a Pepsi, and it's scented. So they must burn incense or something. You can smell the. We've talked
Yeah,
about this before. Last night I got an orange Fago for the very first time. And he stuck his little arm out there, and as I was stopped under the canopy and spraying, and took the drink and saw his wife in the background, waved to her. What now? Nice couple, nice family.
yeah.
And I always like to hit them when I can. So well, I mean, not literally. So I sprayed like straight to them, did them, went it's kind of splits off onto Lake Street, but that runs the whole course like the uh East King Highway that I went in, to get to him, to go
Mm.
to Missouri. Really, from where he is, Missouri is not that far. The state line.
Right.
Everybody goes over there to Mr. T's. I pity the fool. They've got the little gambling machines, I guess. Gaming machines. They've got liquor and all kinds of stuff. They
Wait,
ran
what?
for a long time saying, "Come to the Kahlua colored waters of Mr. T's," because they've got some water there somewhere. I mean, some kind of
So Mr. T's
yeah.
is like a little gambling joint? What's that?
Well, no, it's like a liquor store, but I'm sure they've got those little gaming machines. I saw some of those when I
Oh,
was up in Atlanta. I think people that can maybe win something. I don't know. Put your money
yeah, like
in, play
little
the game,
electronic
and
poker games. We
yeah.
used to have them up here, like in the bars and stuff, but I don't know. They passed some kind of law or something, and they pulled them all out.
You might not be, now he's not responsible, I guess, for too much but you might be right. I saw I wouldn't say, I only got a glimpse of her dressed in black, and this truck came up. So I guess she opened the door to be seen.
Ah,
This
fuck
is
that.
the nut.
I
This
forgot.
is
I was
where I'm
going to ask
at.
you.
So
I forgot,
it
dude.
might have been a hooker. Might have been a hooker. They may get hookers out there.
Never know. I saw a
That's
couple
propaganda.
down the street from my work today, man. I had to go gas up at lunchtime because I didn't have time this morning.
Uh-huh.
So I ran down the street, pulled into a little Shell station, and there's a couple of very, very scantily clad, very, very, very dark black young ladies. Got quite lovely. But
Oh,
apparently, work in the world oldest profession. So that was
did they
interesting at
did they try and
11
hit on
o'clock
you?
in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
and when I see some women, you know, different days, different, and they're walking. I don't know
Mm.
if they're coming back from something or what. Uh,
I mean, yeah,
when's an
I was kind of
interesting
shocked.
place? Before I started, what, last season, I
Well,
think it was. I told you there were some people killed, ran over. I never got the complete story of that, where and I thought I heard a gunshot at one time, and it was so close, I was wondering if they were shooting at me. Uh,
I did not ask the rates, Marcus.
I did see a deer, last night, and the first time I went down that gravel road in that zone, which was zone 1, I saw an owl, a very large owl. Jinko in the house. Marcus Killigrew, hello.
Hey,
Shadowhawk,
Jinko.
quit effing around, and find me a comic book store that let me organize the comics. Just joking.
All right. Hey, Jinko, you can come by my house anytime you want and reorganize my comics. I made a mess of them doing show and tell with Rex.
Send all the girls to play show and tell with me, or Twister.
Yeah.
I might have an old Matt here somewhere. Gas Up is code for what? Shadow. Gas Up. Yeah.
You ever played Naked Twister, Rex? I mean, with the
No.
right group of friends.
No.
It can be interesting.
No. I did
Been
get a
about
girl
30
on a
years
canvas.
since I have, but
very large drop cloth.
Well, it comes in handy to protect the furniture and stuff.
Well, you know, when it comes to organizing comics, it's a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and boxing, or whatever, you know, to save your collectibles. Depends on how ambitious you are, you know.
Dude, it's a job, bro. I mean, especially when you go, alphabetized and then, separated by company and like indies from, mainstream. It can be a big job.
Well, I've shown files of my collection, and it's just a mixture.
I still don't know how you keep track of what you got with you.
I
know
mean,
you
I
got
photographed
pictures
them, and I just
I
have to
know
go
you
through
got
the files.
pictures with descriptions of what's in every box, but that doesn't help you like when you want to find a complete collection and you got it divided into 6, 7 different boxes.
Right. Well, now, you know, some I have tried to put all Marvels in, or like having an all Avengers box, or all Fantastic Four box, or I've tried to do that where I can. My problem is I need to cull some of my collection out and call this my collection and these extras, you know. I've got a lot of store. Of course, that's where I started my new collection, was turn around and buy a comic book store out.
Right. Yeah. So I mean,
And at that time, the
quite a
stuff
bit
wasn't
more to
that
go
old.
through than I do. So.
Oh yeah, I've got 10, 15 copies of some stuff, you know.
Well, I mean, just in general, I've got, I think, I don't know, 16 or 18 long boxes, and you've got what? But like, I don't know how many.
270 something short boxes, and that's not everything that's recorded. So probably about 300 short boxes.
So that's probably about like 150 long boxes.
It's probably the majority of the room in my house. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's a lot.
Rex is building furniture out of short boxes. Yes, have a seat on my couch.
I would say, no, I don't want your couch.
No,
that is that couch. That's an old joke.
No, I'm saying when you say have a seat on the couch, you just got a nice blanket there. It looks like a nice couch, but it's actually all short boxes underneath there that making up the.
Yeah,
guest bedroom. The bed is all short boxes, but just
I need to get
over the
short boxes off my couch. I got a brand new couch. I got my mother's couch when she moved. That and the pie safe, and I have comics on both. You know.
Oh jeez. Oh man.
Where do these rumors get started, Eric?
Beat again. Weather's killing.
You know, Eric said no. All the women play Runaway, Runaway with Rex.
Have a good one, buddy.
Rex can never be a stalker. His albinoism gives him away when he's trying to hide in the shadows. Yes, but during a snowstorm, it works. So I went down Lake Street, which runs parallel with the other street that just basically, you know, runs the length of that zone. And on Lake Street is the largest, was it the first? I guess it was the first
Yeah.
mission that I worked at, where I was the resident manager for a year and a half. So I gave them a good spraying, a couple rounds around the building, and proceeded to go back to zone 1 after I sprayed my friend's little place. Every 28 days, women gets a holiday. I don't think that's a holiday. I think that's a slippery. Just joking. He said, "Yeah, you got that just joking from Omer." It sounds like, because that's what he says all the time.
I don't. You don't get much snow in Arkansas, do you, Rick?
Yeah, we get some. The most that I've ever seen is when I was a small kid,
What?
and it snowed all week and heavily all
I
week.
can't find it up there.
I ran out straight.
My coolers. I didn't take it.
Famous last words. I didn't take it.
Last night I thought it was upstairs. No, today. Days ago.
I ran out as a small boy into the snow, and it was above my head. So, yeah, that was back in the early 70s, probably late 60s. I mean, I was small. That's the most snow we've ever gotten. It was before I was 10 years old, because we moved out of that house when I was 10 years old, across the street, but into another house. But yeah, that's the most snow we've ever gotten, which was probably 6 foot deep in that drift, but normally it doesn't snow that much. Now we get some ice storms every now and then.
Right.
But yeah, I ran out as a small kid, and the snow was over my head.
I bet you were happy as hell.
Yeah, I mean, it snowed heavily, man. I can just those images of the snow coming down and what we gotten throughout the week, and I'm sure Dad was probably listening to the news, and I knew more snow was coming, and yeah, it was. I was probably not in school. I can't remember if I was in school at that time or not. Probably not.
I depending on the winter carrying, we can get a pretty good amount of snow here. It doesn't seem like we get as much as we used to back when I was growing up, though. Because I remember summers that were just, winters that were just, from November until March, April, you had 2 to 3 feet of snow on the ground from all the snowfall and stuff. And now we rarely get, we might get hit a couple times a year with like 6 or 8 inches, and then it'll warm up and it'll melt mostly, and then we'll get a few more, but nothing terrible.
So is Eric and Boyd says, yes, Missouri and Arkansas are notorious for having ice storms and sleet, dangerous. Yeah, so is western, around Oklahoma City and all like that. My uncle and aunt, my uncle's passed away now, but my aunt still lives there with her 2 boys who have both have families, and in Shawnee, Oklahoma, where the first Sonic was. It wasn't called Sonic, but that's where Sonic began, was in Shawnee,
Oh,
Oklahoma.
really? I had no idea. In Oklahoma?
In Oklahoma, yeah. It was called Top Hat something. I don't know, something like that. I said that.
I imagine winters can be really rough where you're at, Eric.
And they get a lot of tornadoes. Of course, we do here too, some. We got one in the late 60s, around 67 or 68. We got one in 73 that was a real bad one. It didn't destroy my grandmother's house. Yet again, it did, because that whole house was leaning.
Damn.
I mean, actually leaning, didn't blow it over, but destroyed it, and it was one of the older houses that had like 12-foot high ceilings with ceiling fans,
Yeah, I actually like Sonic too, Eric, but yeah, I just don't eat much fast food anymore.
I don't either. Yeah.
It's
And you
too
never
damn
know how they're
expensive.
going to.
You might as well just go to a sit-down restaurant right now instead of going and buying takeout for the family. I'd rather just go sit down at a restaurant, like Texas Corral or something, have a nice steak. It's going to cost me the same thing anyway.
Or Olive Garden or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
not a
yeah. I
big
mean,
Olive Garden guy.
when you go to Taco Bell, I think I was over in Pocahontas a couple seasons ago, and that's when the prices started going up to about $1.80 something, about $2 a taco almost, and well over $10 for just some tacos. I don't
Mm,
even think I got a
crazy.
drink. Just, huh?
That's
Yeah, it's
crazy, man.
crazy. I love this. I love this stuff. Yesterday when I went out and got some uh, taco mix, I saw somewhere, it might have been Aldi. I think it was somewhere else. I saw French's. Oh, it was Walmart. I got a French's taco or something. Well, I don't know if it was Walmart. It was somewhere. I said French's. So I'll try that. French's, like the salad dressing. They
Uh-huh.
do a they do a taco thing, kind of like Ortega or something like that.
Oh, okay. I had
And
no idea.
so I got that for 75 cents a packet, which is cheaper than anything on the market, really. But now, when I went into Walmart, I got a fajita and 2 taco that are from Taco Bell because I like Taco Bell taco stuff, and I can make it just. The only thing is shells. I like the hard, crunchy shells instead of. I mean, I'll eat a soft taco, but I prefer it to be in a hard, crunchy shell. And you can't get any shells that are not broken or they don't taste they maybe they're slow movers, they get stale, they
Yeah.
get
Adam.
too chewy. I've not bought one in a box or a kit or anything that's been any good, really. But down there at Wynn, I told you, man, Taco Bell, the best, even better than here in town. Just fresh. I don't know what they do different, but man, I don't think it could get any better than what they
Damn,
serve
pal.
up.
All right.
So they must have a good one there. And it is a KFC / Taco Bell, and we have one of those out by one of our Walmarts on the interstate. Taco Bell was fine with our early 90s look. Chipotle's taco pretty. And I've tried that what do they call it, Dorito shell too.
I actually like those. Those aren't bad. But normally I'll get like a soft shell steak taco if I go to Taco Bell. But my second choice is the Dorito Locos one. Those, and I normally don't eat hard shells, but those are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic's one of the few that I would go to, but not everything.
Yeah, Sonic's got great conies, chili dogs. They got really good drinks. And then they got like a lot of little uh, like cheese dog bites and different types of little snacky stuff. It's all pretty decent. It's just everything's so expensive anymore.
Well, I mean, I could have went out to eat. I got some money out of the bank and wasn't going to get caught by the. I don't. When is 4th of July? I'm telling you, man. 4th. Hit my cord, so my audio went out.
I don't know. See, I'm scared of eating at Chipotle, man. Every time I hear somebody eats at Chipotle, it's like bad things happen to their stomach.
I mean, Independence Day is only 8 days away, folks. Now, July 1st is Mike Barron's Day.
My parents' birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like a little July baby.
Mm-hmm.
I got a message from Mr. Barron. I hope he got his books back and he's not mad at me. I've not received a confirmation yet.
Jinko says Sonic was my go-to during COVID. Or did I read that? Yeah, during COVID.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant. Yeah, when I was living down in Houston, they used to have the girls on roller skates who would come out to the car too. But it seems like they don't do that anymore, Eric.
They do around here in some places. One of my ex-girlfriends worked at Sonic, and she had roller skates or whatever, out to at least I think she did. Well, I mean, not every Sonic does it anymore, but some of
Yeah.
them do. I mean,
I
I
thought it was
wonder if
cool.
they have to buy their own skates or if they are issued that,
That's a whole nother question I could not even begin to answer.
Yeah. After the pandemic, and it was planned, folks. Anyway, please don't take this channel down. Freedom.
If you have
Freedom
a
of speech.
hole in a wooden door, what is needed to fill it to smooth the door? Depending how big the hole is, Carrie,
Wood
you
putty?
can get some wood putty. If
I
it's a
should.
bigger hole, you may have to resort to something else. But usually, I would say wood putty, and just fill it in, smooth it out, and then you have to sand it down.
Yeah, I got some wood fill and stuff like that, some DAP stuff from Michael's of all places. So they had some
A&W's.
stuff like that at
We
Michael's.
had a few of those around here too. We've still got one out by Mama Hawk's, Mom's
Oh,
house.
Michael's?
No, an A&W root beer stand. Remember
Okay.
the old A&Ws? They used to be.
Yeah, Paragould
too.
had, where I went last night, has I think they have an A&W. We had one here in town. It closed, and they still had theirs, but I don't know. They may have reconfigured now. I know they've got a Steak and Shake. I think we've got a Steak and Shake too, although it relocated.
Okay, wood putty does not really expand. If you've got a hole that you need something like that for, your best bet would probably be to get some expanding foam.
Mm-hmm.
Fill it. It's gonna bulge out and come out of the
Yeah.
hole, and you're gonna have to cut down the excess and then sand it and paint over it.
Yeah, take something to rake, it flat with the rest of the door like that, after it bulges out, and fills that space, and then that, and then I guess what would you put over that to maybe something like solid piece of, I don't know, or would you just leave it like that and paint over it? It'd still be a soft spot.
I mean,
You'd have to put
that
something over it.
expanding foam actually, once it cures, it's pretty hard. I mean,
It can get pretty, yeah.
Yeah, you
And
cut
people
it.
ship some stuff that way too. They'll put it in the box and then
Oh,
fill
yeah.
the rest
No,
of it
that-
with the foam. But usually it's contained within a little silver or gray bag,
Yeah, they usually will put like whatever the part is in a bag and then just
Mhm.
spray the foam into the box around it.
Mhm. And it'll fill
That's
all the
actually
spaces
a
around.
pretty good way of shipping, like heavier items and stuff.
It is, but it's hell to get the stuff extracted out of it.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And then it also adds a lot of weight to your package.
It does, yeah. It's not
even though a
really
lot of
weight.
it's just air, it's still fairly heavy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty good size box. Yeah, I mean peanuts.
Yeah,
or
I get a lot of equipment.
a box
parts
within
that
a box with some peanuts
comes
or
in like
some
that. Yeah.
wadded up paper or something would be better, and a lot easier to get into.
Yeah.
This is for people who shipping and stuff in a hurry.
Yeah, it's to make things faster.
Expanding foam. Yeah, I'm sure you probably got something like that in the UK. You see that around like joints, like piping, like PVC piping or something like that, to make sure that there's no gap around, the wood and the rock and the metal going through, that you cut a hole for.
Mm.
Yeah, you see that around a lot of joints of stuff,
Right. And Carrie, I don't know if you have like those small hardware store around you, but if you're not familiar with it or whatever, just ask your hardware guy and they'll show you.
Omer says usually foam. If it's a big hole, then wood putty over it to closer match it. If wood cool, wood putty is for coin size holes or smaller. Yeah.
And if you just have a laminated door, Carrie, that I don't know exactly what happened, but say some asshole punched a hole into or something. You can get stick on like laminate. Uh, it's like a wood grain sticker, and you can find different
Mhm.
colors and stuff to match your door, and then you can just cover it with that. And as long as you don't look at it too close, from a distance, it will look like the door is fine. Once you get up really close to it, you'll be able to see that there's
Or
some.
replace the door and get a metal door, which would probably be more secure.
There you go.
That's what I had to do a few times. I replaced
Yeah,
this wood
I'd
door.
rather have. I mean, I don't mind a nice, good, solid wood door on the inside of the house, but as far as entry doors and stuff, I prefer metal.
Some asshole did punch a hole in it when I ducked. So it's been damaged that way for a while, huh, Carrie? A few years now. I hope that isn't a recent occurrence.
So,
Don't tell us we're
I,
going to have to
I
come over there and beat some people down.
unfortunately had a feeling that might be what you were asking about, honey.
Need cheapest possible option.
The cheapest possible option is the one I told you about. If you can find
the expanding foam.
no, just the stick-on stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's like and you
Well, now
just
she would
match
have
the
to
wood.
fill that with paper or something, right? I mean, in that hole to fill it out.
If you stretch the sticker out nice and flat, and you really don't have to put anything underneath it. But if anybody ever actually puts their finger on that
It's going to be a
particular
weak
spot,
spot. Yeah.
it's going to be a weak
Yeah.
spot.
I mean,
To
hell,
fix it properly, the expanding foam is probably the cheapest way to go.
and to give it some support, you might put some wadding underneath there. There's all kinds of stuff that you could do,
Yeah,
and to, not have a hole there that's just covered up. You might have a little insulate that might, insulate you from the
right.
weather outside. Packing peanuts you could put in there or something. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff you could just put in
Usually
there.
that doesn't happen to exterior doors. That usually happens on interior doors.
Yeah.
Because they're mostly built hollow. Usually,
Oh yeah. If it's
exterior
an
doors are
interior
built
door, I
solid.
wouldn't worry about it. Yeah. Anyway, this has been Home Improvement episode 1155. Like I said, I wake to a brand new world every day. Yesterday we're talking one thing, and then today another about wood putty and color and all that.
You never know. We could be, discussing comic books one day and home improvement the next.
Could be the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. At least I got some decent music, out of Memphis, I guess, or out of Jonesboro, probably out of Jonesboro. I think they're in Jonesboro broadcasting. So I got a nice strong signal of like get your motor running, head out
Cool.
on the highway, and a Foreigner,
Decent little rock
Journey,
station.
Yeah, decent rock station. Yeah,
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that.
Man, they're really doing some expanding down there. I went right on the edge of Paragould. They've got a lot of housing planned in a very large area that's behind a sort of satellite church, Central Baptist Church, that's here in town. They have a satellite church over there, which is a nice big facility, on the main road going into Paragould. But behind there, where sort of Bethany Station Church is or whatever, that's been there forever. I used to take that cutoff to go to Zone 5, which I went to, where my friend is on the very outskirts of that. But I went to church. My church was in Zone 5. The rescue mission that I worked at, the very first rescue mission that I worked for over there in a year and a half, was resident manager / spiritual advisor, chaplain, whatever, was over in Zone 5, and I got to spray them last night. So, but they've got a lot of cut throughs now. I mean, they have made travel through there for big trucks and other things,
Hey, Homer, watch how you use that word around a lady.
And there's probably routes going quicker up to Missouri, the Missouri line. I don't know. I haven't taken them all the way to Missouri, but you'd have to go to Paragould and cut on over. Just keep following their main street, which is kind of like East Kings Highway. You come in on either east or west, depending on if you go east or west, where you come in, at least from Jonesboro.
Homer looks at that hole and says, "It's gonna need a lot of caulk."
Yeah. Well, it depends. If it's fist size or if we're talking larger, I had my
Yeah, you
steps
can like you're saying, you have to fill it in with some, paper behind it. Give it a
something,
little.
yeah, inexpensive, cardboard, whatever, whatever
Mhm.
works for you to make a, that doesn't bulge out or, impede you, putting a covering over that, I guess it does depend on if it's an outer door or an inner door shadow, like you say.
Yeah, usually inner doors are hollow and outer doors are solid core, so you're not gonna get, like usually a big hole. You might get a dent in an
Yeah.
outer door, but you're not gonna get a big hole unless somebody shoots your door or something. Yeah.
My daughter
If
grew
that's the
up
case,
down
you
Hot
might have
Springs,
more problems.
Arkansas. She still lives down there with her husband and son. Yeah, I toured Hot Springs with her mother and,
Oh, it
with her
is beautiful.
daughters. And yeah, that's where all the, Al Capone and all the gangsters used to go down to vacation back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, I guess. Just kind of a hop, skip, and jump from Chicago all the way down to
Well, I lived in
all the
Houston, and
middle of the state.
even when we weren't living there, we would probably drive down once a summer so that
Low fat water. How's it
the
going?
wife's grandparents could see the daughter,
Mhm.
and we stopped in there a few times. It's very cool. Hey, low fat water in the house. Good to see
It's her
you.
bedroom door. Okay, so interior door, maybe a hollow door.
Yep.
You're right. Some of those are pretty lightweight, hollow. We
Mhm.
also have Apex Comics in the house. Hey, Apex.
Hey, Apex. Good to see you, buddy.
It's been a while since we've seen low fat water in here, though, or
Yeah, I
guy.
haven't seen low fat
Grant.
water in a little while.
Yeah.
Or it seems like it ain't.
Yeah. Well, again, I stayed in.
We miss you when you're gone, man. We're here every day.
Well, I try and be informative, with what I don't know what insight I gave you, but
Hopefully we could carry a little idea about how to steer on her door repair. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I mean,
there's 3 or 4 good ideas in there. You just gotta see which one kind of works best for you. Okay?
Yeah. You just want to fill that hole up and then, maybe a little patch and you can make the patch decorative. If you're gonna like take, you might paint that part of the door or something. Like it's
Did
a
you
little
move
frame.
recently, Low Fat?
Turn that frown upside down.
Yeah.
Busy
New
packing
move,
my
new
things
home,
in
or
Delaware.
new
Wow.
job?
Are you in Delaware right now, or did you move to Delaware? Have you moved yet? Delaware is a very small state. So
It's kind of tiny.
mm-hmm. How do you feel the hole to your soul? If you're not,
not yet.
I know he wants a woman. Not yet. Okay. Wow. I guess that's probably work related for you to send you all the way to Delaware. Where are you at right now? What state are you in now?
Oh man.
How big a move is that for you? Wow. Well, Omer, on our draw stream the other night, as you well know, there was a big cock guy on the show that almost got the channels taken down. Had to privatize that one. We're going to have to get together. Maybe that's what he was wanting to do. You're still in New Jersey. Okay. New Jersey, Delaware, that's not that big. Every move, though, is horrendous.
Not far, I guess. Not too far.
if you have no possessions whatsoever, which I don't, I have many possessions, and hopefully one of these days I'll get most of the collectibles and put them in one place outside the house, like in a collectible workspace, or gallery, whatever, because I would want to paint there, or draw, or whatever there, maybe broadcast from there. And my home would be my home.
No shit, Homer, you got hit too? Homer said he just had an incident like that on the Don stream last night.
Oh, wow. So that was Don's. And I actually went into Don's and said hi when I got home, I think.
Dude, we got somebody
also,
trying to snipe our channels down around here, man. Throwing shit like that out there. Was it somebody you guys weren't familiar with and then welcomed them in and you're like, hey, what's going on here, man? And then all of a sudden, Dom.
Eric and Boyd said Apex suffered the same fate some time ago with some war campaign bundles of sticks.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it don't surprise me any if that's where it's coming from.
It was a
They're
guy
still around out there, although some of them have reformed, like our Boiler Renzo.
Stroking and pooping, Shadowhawk. Stroking and poopy. Yeah, I stopped by Preston Acevedo's, and he had Matt on Metal Movies and Brewskis, or they were doing a show together, and I, said hi to them. There was a few I chimed in before I sit down and relaxed and ate something and fed Abby or whatever, and
right,
some Gunsmoke.
Well, I think Matt from Matt Burke was doing his stream last night.
Yeah, Matt Burke with Preston on Preston's channel.
Oh, yeah, Preston with him on it? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that are they normal hosts or is that?
I don't know. They were taught. They seem to, have like you and me, a pretty good rapport.
Oh, okay.
Although I can't say that all the
time. I haven't been getting to watch a lot of Matt's streams. I get to watch some of the streams.
Well, Matt usually streams late at night in the evenings, and you have to go to bed around 9:30 to get up at 3 every morning. So you miss a lot like I do.
Yeah, I get up before the crack of dawn.
Yeah, but how many times have you woke up and heard that crack?
How many times have I woke up and what?
Heard that quack, that crack.
Heard that crack? Oh, yeah, every day.
If you got a crack, putty it. Fill it in.
It's usually my back and my knees when I stand up out of breath.
Well, I'm glad I didn't see that on the Don show. He said he was stroking and pooping. My God. Are you sure it wasn't like one of the people that CG's had to deal with, because there's some oddballs there.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It wouldn't surprise me if we got somebody making the rounds again.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this the other day. What about the Russian bots that were everywhere?
Dude, I kind of missed shooting those down. That was fun for a little while.
I mean, that was probably my first year of broadcasting, like 3.5 years ago, because they were everywhere when I first started streaming for about a year, off
yeah,
and
I think
on.
it was like 2019 when they really hit hard, something like that.
Okay, maybe, but no, I haven't been streaming since 2019. So that would have been before I even did a stream.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying when they first started, because I remember being a mod in like Ethan's channel and other channels on, different places I'd been on for a while before I found you, and that's all I did was monitor the chat and shoot down fucking sex bots and spam bots and shit. Like,
well, I found in
total.
I mean, the bots, you don't see them anymore. I haven't heard anybody report, but I would go on different shows and say, have you had to deal with these bots? And they would say yes. So
Oh,
everybody just about that stream was getting some of them. I chimed in at Preston Acevedo's. I know it was like 1:30 at least. They were doing their thing, and Omer said Matt did a show after that, so they were
oh,
up.
okay. Yeah, that was way past my bedtime. I saw, like I said, I saw that he had streamed last night today, but I didn't have time to. I had to find something long to listen to today because I was involved in a couple of projects. I can't keep searching around my phone every 20 minutes when, up short streams. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
was listening to an audiobook most of the day, actually.
Saturday
That
we
way.
will have, and it's been a while since we've done an interview, but Josh Howard will host him for the second time on the show. He used to be, do a lot of stuff with Alterna, and he was one of the ones that
It
left
used to be
Alterna and
Richie Cunningham.
self-publishing.
Oh, wait, no. Damn it. I
No,
keep getting them.
no. I was thinking about how I thought about the Fonz, Fonzie back in the day. But Henry Winkler today, I don't have much
Oh,
use
good
for him
Lord.
because he's such a flaming liberal, over the top. If you want to leave this country, maybe Trump should pull their train like that, Shadowhawk, for all these liberals say, just like he did, we'll pay you $1,000 to leave the country
Huh?
legally. We'll pay you to get on the plane and leave our country. To
Now, how about we're going to collect all the taxes you owe before we allow you to leave? I like that one better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we were to incarcerate them, I guarantee you, having done some work in the prison ministry, most of the prisons are overloaded. And
Mm,
I guess that's a good
I,
thing about
I,
Democrats. They'll let out
I know.
murderers and all kinds of baddies, out of the prisons. I mean, there for a
Well,
while under Biden and Obama, they were letting out some really bad people out of the prisons.
yeah, but they still
And
want
and
to
I
keep the prisons full. You see, that's the fucking
Well, the
crazy
thing of
shit.
it is, it's a good turnover for them. See, every time
Mm-hmm.
they're reincarcerated, the state gives them money. So
Right.
and that's
Exactly.
why drug users come in and go out. All these young drug users that they can't stay out of prison. Now, the older prisoners that's been in there for maybe over a decade or more, they're wanting
Hell,
out,
37.
and they like, if I get out, I will never come back. But they know that. So, and their crimes are a little bit more severe too. But they've learned their lesson, and I believe some of them, not all of them. The old joke is everybody in prison's innocent, right?
What's that? Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
said,
yeah.
oh, yeah,
Everybody's got their story about why they shouldn't be there.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of younger people are sort of liberal. Produced MacGyver. Oh, I didn't know he was a producer of MacGyver. Yeah, I mean, he did some good things in entertainment. There's no doubt about it. I don't, I would think that if you're in entertainment like that and the spotlight's on you, unless you run for public office like we talked about yesterday, Mel Gibson, I think you brought this up, Shadowhawk, that he's thinking about running for governor out in California. But the deck is stacked. We saw that when they tried to oust the current governor.
Yeah, apparently Mel Gibson's considered. I mean, and I kind of, you know, he's not a natural born American citizen, which is kind of bad. But at the same time, he's not a fucking libtard. So,
No,
I mean,
I think he
I'd rather
did.
see him.
I don't. I guess he's got dual citizenship, right? Or
I'm guessing, yeah. I
I mean,
mean,
now
kind of like
some people get citizenship and they drop
when
their out of
they
their
renounce
country.
their right.
It,
But most people keep dual citizenship because
yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? I don't think it's a good thing. Either make a choice, one or the other. But I mean,
Right, but if they're not going to make you, why would you? If you got citizenship in two countries,
I don't know about 100,000 per inmate, but
something like that.
I know some of the
It's a lot,
prisons,
right?
huh?
It's about 100,000 or so. Yeah, it's a lot per prisoner.
Every time they go in. I mean, I guess that
Not
would.
every time they go in, but if they're in for a good amount of time, yeah.
I guess that would depend on the state too. Different states do
Mhm.
different things, and there are privatized prisons.
Well, dude, do you know what Bob Barker's business was aside from the prices? Right?
No.
He made all the little soaps and the little fucking slip-on shoes and the fucking other shit that you get when they give you your little kid of shit when you get checked into jail or prison. He's the guy that manufactures all that shit. That's where his
Wow.
real money came from.
Wow. I did
Yeah,
not
and
know that.
he's got a government contract to supply all these fucking prisons.
Well, I mean, there are private prisons. I've been to at least one of them, and now it's owned by the state.
Yeah, he
Uh,
doesn't have the monopoly he used to, but for a long time there, dude, he was supplying every federally owned prison in the country with all their shit.
well, I did not know that. That's pretty
Mhm.
cool. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of side things that you never know about, and they make money. He made
I
money
mean,
as the
that's
game.
just kind of a, I don't know. I mean, it's smart. I could see that, but at the same time, it's kind of a skeevy way to make money off society, because
Well, okay.
there's always gonna.
You see a need, you feel a need. Uh,
Again, I I have mixed feelings. That's all I'm saying.
okay. Well, all I'm saying is that's a much needed thing. That makes sense. That when they come in, they're going to need this, they're going to need that. I mean, we at Christmas time we took when I went to that first. Uh, I went with the church group on that time. There's a couple times that I went in. One with my home church and to take a
Mhm.
baptistry table, which can also be a communion table, and they're made out of Oklahoma, Miami, Oklahoma, in one of their prisons.
That's right.
Uh,
I wanted 30 on them beaten. I went there out them out there breaking rocks and fucking picking up garbage on the side of the road. Put them bitches to work.
okay. Well, it can happen to a loved one of yours. I have a friend that his daughter had to go and serve some time, and she was probably on the side of the roads picking up stuff. And I drove by a place maybe last night or the night before that had backed
And,
up trash to be picked up. I'm just
and
saying it can, you break the
you
law,
probably
you can wind
deserved it,
up.
didn't you?
Yes, she did, and I think she will never go back and do it again. Wow, you're one of
There you
these
go. You learned a lesson.
that are pretty hard on prisoners, and I'm not saying that they needed
No,
to
and
they
I don't
need to
think
think.
they don't need to be cruel to them, but prison shouldn't be a fucking vacation.
No, it shouldn't, but it shouldn't be what it used to be. Like Robert Redford did his movie about going to prison,
Right?
and
Yeah.
actually that was partially based on stuff here in Arkansas, like Tucker Prison. Tucker is where I
But I
used to
mean,
go down to.
most of our prison systems are a lot better than that now.
Well, I know. I did prison ministry with people that had been in the prison and they came back and was doing ministry. They were reformed, right? But they were there back in the days when they were strapping you with the leather.
Oh
When
shit!
inmates ran pretty much guarded with
Sorry,
guns
Apex. I was grabbing some mac and cheese, dude. I'm starving.
and would stand you on Coke bottles all day long in the heat. And you better stay up there and balanced. It's sheer
I think I
torture.
just
A lot of that was in that movie. Uh, the only thing that's running through my head is Brubaker. Is that the movie I'm thinking of? Railroad Gang, Chain Gang. Yeah, I mean, I've not seen any of that, but I know that you know, I did ministry with a few people that were in there that were reformed and had been ex-prisoners, and they were coming in maybe a couple decades later, or when were we doing the ministry? So it's probably maybe close to 25 or 30 years later, but still they remember the time when inmates had guns. Yeah, Brubaker. That was part, and the mass graves, they would really, yeah, if you bucked the system, you would wind up dead and they would bury you, you know. And so the prison system has a very sordid history, of course, even going back to the Civil War or beyond, you know,
Ah,
where
crap.
our
I'm gonna have to
capital
hop out and come back in again. My
can,
I
can you
can't
hear
hear
me?
anything.
Oh,
Be
can
back.
you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Huh? Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Yeah, I mean, you know, 60s. I mean, the Tucker telephone is infamous, where they would, you know, have one of those, you know, wooden boxes with the, you know, thing you spoke into, right? And you cranked it up and or put it to your ear. Well, they would take the electrodes, you know, the wires, and they would crank that thing and they would stick that to prisoners at various parts of their body, sometimes on their genitalia and stuff like that. And these were other prisoners, prisoners on prisoners. Now, it could have been some of the paid guards as well. I mean, they still have the infamous Tucker telephone down there at Tucker. Although I never saw that. That was part of a museum. They also had the old electric chair down there, but I never saw that. So yeah, mass graves were found, and that was based on kind of a combination of the worst. I mean, I guess practices from some of that, but like the Tucker telephone, you know, they were torturing somebody with that. That was definitely in Arkansas. So even up into the late 60s. And of course, we had a racist governor probably when I was a little boy. I mean, President Clinton, uh, and I believe his name might have been Filburn. I can't think exactly what his name was, but Clinton kind of idolized him and everything. But he was definitely a racist, you
All
know.
right, let's try this one more time. Can you hear me?
Okay. Can you hear me? I
Yeah,
can hear
I can
you.
hear you. Okay.
Okay. We're good
All
then.
right, we're good.
Wonder Twin powers activate in form of
Cling.
the 4 o'clock shadow.
A
Caw-caw.
bucket of water.
Yeah. A bucket of water,
Wait.
an ice
Well,
cube,
I guess I'm gonna take the form of a hawk, and you're gonna take the form of a bucket of water, bitch.
a bucket of ice. I think he even did a bucket of ice at
He might
times.
have done a bucket of ice once or
Yeah.
twice. Yeah.
And his little face on a little cube, you know.
Mm,
Is Trump reopening Alcatraz? I have not heard that. I doubt it. I mean, that's the decades
I
old
did.
prison. It's
I
rusted.
think that may have been one of his, like, kind of joking kind of
Oh yeah,
things. But
he jokes with he's. I mean, he said one that like yesterday, like I said, you know, who's your daddy? Um,
because
he'll say some outrageous stuff just to see how the
no
left
matter what he
reacts.
says,
You know?
the fucking media is gonna run with it and be like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, can you believe he said this?" And he's just laughing his ass off.
Well, you know, when he you know, with that job, you probably need a little levity, right? I mean, because it is a stressful job. I would say it's probably less stressful on him, but I mean, with all the fake news, it's always negative questions,
Mhm.
always leading negative questions. There's never
Well,
anything.
see, the problem, like, and I don't mean to seem, but I lean the way I lean, and I've seen what I've seen, and but Obama and Biden, those guys, when they're making jokes and stuff, it's not meant to be a joke. It's meant to be a jab or something at the other side. It's, they're pretending it's humor, but they're still always trying to drive a point home instead of just making a joke and making the other side go, "Oh, I can't believe you said that," and then laugh your ass off because everybody knows you're fucking joking.
Yeah, I just don't think anybody ever is going to open up Alcatraz. I mean, there's I think maybe part of it's a museum, but I mean it's rusting. It's a relic. It's too antiquated, probably.
Yeah, I don't think you could re-outfit it. I mean, it would cost so much money. Might as well just level and start from scratch.
Well, the original, yeah, exactly. I mean, prisons are. I mean, to build a new prison, there was a new prison that was proposed here in Arkansas, and it was going to cost too much money. You know, the governor Huckabee.
Howdy,
Hello,
Art.
gentlemen. How's it going?
What's going on, buddy?
Okay. How's it going for you? What you got there on
Say
the,
hello. Say hello to Mr. Hand.
to Mr.
Say
Hand?
hello to Miss. So I'm drawing Elliot's ominous character, Zadok,
Yeah. Okay.
and he's got his big sword between his legs there, saying, "I got the power." I was because well earlier today. Well, today is it's I guess it's Elliot's birthday too, but he's doing his ominous launch, and I was on
Oh, it was his birthday? Oh, I didn't realize it was his birthday today,
coloring
too.
this one up a little bit, so I'll get to this in a little bit.
Cool.
This is
He's doing that with Elliot, right?
Yeah, this is Elliot's character, Deathmonger.
Yeah.
Now, do you
Start
know what
coloring that
time
up a
he's
little.
launching? I forgot. Yeah, he's launching on the
Yeah,
26th.
Well, he already launched. It's up and running. I backed it. I'm a first day backer number 19.
You got that link, or did you already put it in the chat up here?
I dropped it in the chat. I'll drop it again if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead. We've got some new people coming there. Praetor 7 in the house. Interesting experience, you know, when you go into the prisons. And
yeah, that
some are worse than others. Some are worse than others. You know, we talked about Big D stroking off and all that, Omer.
Yeah.
You know, you hear different tales of different things, right? And they do have female guards, and why they're allowed, you know, if they're in their pod or whatever, to strip naked and
I put it in the private chat.
Okay. And be like right there, you know, as
watching
the female guards go by, they'd be woo, you know, caterwauling and stroking themselves. You know, I never experienced anything like that, but I know it happens.
Dude, the girls would do that to my dad. I told you, my dad was a cop. He gave me
I remember.
He gave me a tour of the jail a few times, and you know, keep my ass in line. And every time we went through, like, you know, where they kept all the hookers, because they're usually non-violent and shit, but they all knew my dad. It was fucking crazy. I was like, damn. They'd be all flirting with me and making comments and shit. You know, I'd be red as a beet. By the time I got out of there, I was like 10. Yeah.
You were like, Dad, when can I go back to the prison?
When are we going back for another visit?
Go back for another look.
What
blew me away is I would go in some of the pods. I can't remember it. The women, I don't think they had shower curtains, because you could smother and kill somebody with one of those, right?
Yeah.
So they would have to like bathe out in the open, you know. Men too, you know. Privacy is not.
Yeah, they usually have like little divider walls, you know, where you're not just like.
Well, not in every. Every prison is different. You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, like
they're all
just like
different.
showering in gym class back in high school. I mean, it was all
it's
around the
back in junior high or whatever.
You're all butt naked with everybody else. Whatever, it didn't matter.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
You didn't do that. You didn't do that, Rex, in high school.
Okay.
No, Rex is one of those guys that never took a shower after gym and just ran around the rest of the day stinky.
The nuns wouldn't let me do that. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, man, I showered every day because I wanted to smell good for the ladies. I had athletics in the morning.
So what went wrong? You still stink.
Yeah, come here. Pretty.
What do you think personally about this, Omer? The ominous.
Gotcha.
I
It
mean,
Unmute
you
my
looks
back?
mic.
fun. It looks
Yeah, it
fun.
looks like fun.
Yeah.
I like
Got the good
Elliot's
chat.
style he's using on this one. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Pretty
That big
cute.
dude looked
63%
like
there.
he had
26
elephant
back.
feet. Did you notice that, Omer?
I'm sorry. Say that again. I didn't
The
hear you.
big guy with the skull mask. When they're running
Uh-huh.
into the fray, it looks like his legs like end like an elephant feet. You know, like big fat
Yeah.
pads like an elephant,
Right.
not like a
Oh,
regular foot.
I didn't see that. Let's
You
go
didn't
ahead and
notice
watch
it?
that again then.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Back in today.
Back at today. Back at it now.
Back
Back
it
it off.
off. Now see there, it looks like he's got feet, but when he comes charging in, they look like they're kind of shortened down. They almost look like elephant legs on the bottom. Alright. Coming up. Like the speed line. Right there, look at it. Doesn't that look like he's got a little elephant foot? Oh, that's just a bent knee. Okay, never mind. His knee was bent back.
It does look kind of though. It does kind of look that way though.
Doesn't it kind of like right there when you see it off the edge? It looks like he's got little elephant feet. I think that might be kind of cool on a big guy.
Yeah. Back in today.
Back it off and
Yeah, what they said.
yeah, always said. All right, fellas. I hate to check out early on you boys again, but once again, it's been a very, very hot day
Don't
and
put it that.
12-hour
Don't put it
day
like
and a
that. It
freaking
sounds like you're
stinking
dying.
filthy place. Huh?
Well, I hate to check out on you guys. You know, I mean, like you're dying. We don't want you to check out
A
permanently.
little bit every day.
I'm not.
A little bit every day, right? Just
Every day above ground is a good day, Rex. You know that.
yeah, that is. You are correct.
I'm trying to go back into hollow earth. I mean, hollow
That's
moon,
right.
where all our bodies,
down-
our spirits
Go down
back
there
to.
and live with the Kongs.
Omer, we all know what kind of hollow thing you're looking for. Every day, every day, every moment, every waking
just
The
moment.
only
trying to
one
figure
kind
out
of
what her
trench
name is, Rex.
Homer's looking for.
We all
Good night,
know.
boys.
We all know. You're not fooling anyone, mister.
My friends, my friends.
Keep your frenemies even closer, they say. All right, my dog's hacking, but that can't be helped. It's going to be like yesterday. It's going to take a moment
Is it
for
the heat? She's
the
taking...
icon to maybe. I mean, I've not been able to get a clear signal on my phone in certain places, like when I go down wind for some reason. But now my sister got on T-Mobile as well, and I think maybe the system's been messed up for her and me. So I didn't feel so bad about not talking to her for a while. Frog G, drop the link there. Go sign up for Frog G if you have not. I don't know how close they are to launching. We'll probably have to get Jason on here and Ink Spots and all them to talk about it here as soon as they get it up there and launch it.
Oh, gee.
But you can sign up today. And the very first one was well received. And I think this one will do well as well. Check in on a few campaigns here. Here's Tom Tuttle's campaign, sort of a vampire western. Getting pretty close to 200 backers, Omer, $7,970, so almost $8,000 on this campaign.
Yeah, that's a cool
so far.
campaign, man. I wish I had more funds. Now, what's the cheapest option they got? Maybe I'll do a digital or something.
Okay.
The shipping kills me, man. So I backed Elliot, and I bought the newsprint edition, and because he's only going to do 30 of those. So I wanted to make sure I got one of those.
Well,
And I backed the regular version with the villain cover.
uh,
Um, and the shipping was yeah, I got a discount. You get a discount if you order two things, $4 off. But that was $8 shipping for both books was $16 minus 4. But yeah, that was rough.
now was that on Fun My Comic?
Yes, sir. Fun my comic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the same way with, I don't know what we're going to do about that shipping. I've got to get Luke on here and talk about that. You know, what is Fun My Comic going to do that when it charges you double, triple, whatever, you know, for each item, since they don't have add-ons. Justin popped in and said, yes, for pencils down, I'll just send you an extra blank cover. And I'm fine with that. That's all good. You know, that's fine. But yeah, but presents a problem, you know, when you want to
Yeah.
back multiple things. Yeah, this is a cool campaign. Very streamlined, Omer. It's only got 3 tiers. He does not have a digital tier, which is limiting, you know, especially for the international crowd and people that can only afford, you know, discounted,
Yeah.
you know. We've got the Graham Nolan cover there, 7 Amens Before Sundown. Very cool.
Yeah, I
And then
like that silhouette.
Peter Gilmore's here. I like this. I mean, I know this is retro poster, you know, I'm not that hot on this cover at all, but now or both covers. And then that's the campaign. Very streamlined. You get one for 25 or the other for 25 or both together for 50 plus shipping. And that's it. Very streamlined. Very
Yeah,
uncomplicated.
that looks. Yeah. How
But
many pages?
let's see here. 44 pages of story, it says. Now, there might be extras. I don't know.
That's
You
not
had to
bad for
count up.
$20. That makes sense.
Yeah, $25 plus shipping. You're going to pay probably about $35. I don't know what shipping would be on here. I can click on one and see what the shipping would be on one of these.
It's probably like $10-15. Yeah.
Well, we'll just see here. You have to hit the no tip option, you know, no tip.
Yeah.
Just the shaft.
Right.
You have to log in. Probably have to put your shipping address. That would help. Okay, $10. $10 domestic. So standard, you know. So one book, $35. Yeah, you do that a few times. 35, 35, 35. It's gonna get expensive, you know.
Yeah.
Had a good hump day show last night, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good show. It was a little
Yeah.
short, but people were really tired, and I guess
Mm-hmm.
from the weekend, the Heroes Con, everybody was still a little burned out.
Well, I know
And
Marcus went, didn't he? But
yeah, Marcus.
who else
Yeah.
went?
Jason came on. Wait, yeah, Jason was on for a while. Michael Ortiz, first time on, creator of Arrakis,
Okay.
he was on for a while, and then Dale and Peter, and everybody kind of dropped out around 11:30ish my time, and then
Well, on my last draw stream, the one that I had to privatize because we had an incident, Raul was working and not quite done, but pretty complete on this piece.
oh yeah,
This
that's
little devil
badass.
flyer. I guess you saw that, yeah.
I saw some of it. I didn't see it all, but man, it looks great. It's real
Well,
cool.
you know, there's been enough people now that I feel like I probably need to add a fan art section to at least maybe the art book or maybe the art of Devil Flyer. We'll have to see, because I do want to get you behind the scenes type things that, you know, the
Right.
artwork. I do have a whole file of stuff.
Yeah. I hear you. I
Uh,
hear you.
so we'll just have to make those determinations when we start, you know, putting the books together. Most definitely.
Yeah, I got to get on that stamp book. I'm sorry, I've been putting it off, and I actually kind of forgot about it for a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get it sorted out quick. Once I start, it'll go quick. I'm pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, you're, you know, pretty quick with that stuff. Anything that you kind of put your hand to.
Yeah.
Pencils down over on Indiegogo. It's still in demand, $6,448. I think my contribution over on Fund My Comics sent it over $200, something like that. I'd have to look, but so altogether, pretty successful campaign so far. About $8,000 total, or something like that, right?
That sounds about right for
Roughly, you know.
pencils
So
down. Yeah, I'm
might wanna-
excited for Belmont on that. Yeah.
Belmont does good stuff, and really, that's the first book that I've ever backed from him.
Mhm.
But I did back at the highest, or one of the highest levels. I really didn't look. I got all the covers plus the blank cover.
Yeah, I did the big digital package he had of all his stuff, so I'm excited about that. I can't wait to see all of it and get it.
Yeah, because you're going to get Weaponized Werewolf, Smokes the Fox, everything he's done
Yeah.
up to this point, probably. So,
Yeah.
pretty cool. Pigman, $20,456, 295 backers. He's only away from, you know, I did back that book.
That's cool,
Bought a
man.
book.
Yeah. I
I
want to
think
back that
it'll
one.
be an interesting thing to look at, you know.
Yeah.
I don't
For
know where
sure.
I set on that, but I do think that radical Islam is a danger to
Well, I mean,
everybody.
he's got an inside scoop, right? I mean,
Unless,
he's experienced it firsthand, so I mean,
yes.
that's something that's kind of rare form, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's his life experience. You know, Omer, you've got your unique life experience and worldview, and I have my own worldview and unique, you know, experiences in life. So definitely, you
right,
know, I think I'm going to be
right.
able to back Pete Samedi's Fund My Comic
Pizza Samedi.
on the
Everybody says
very
that.
last day. It has 5 days to go on Fund My Comic, 128. It is fully funded at $15,000, $15,819. We'll see what I can do. You know, definitely
Yeah.
wanting to not miss out on this
Get in on that.
opportunity to get in on some pulp printed, you know,
Some
printed
newsprint.
comics. You know, if it's like the quality looks the same as the other alternative books, and really the difference between the pulp paper of, like, say, the 80s or even into the 90s and today is I mean, just the way it's put together. No pinholes, bone white paper. I mean, it's just wonderful looking stuff, you know. Thank you for
Yeah.
dropping that link. You know, I didn't want to drop link to just everything, but absolutely.
Oh man, you got it. Yeah.
No, I don't got to. You know, they can go over there and find it themselves. You know.
No, I mean, no, you. Yeah, I don't know if you're saying thank you to me or somebody else.
Well,
Sorry.
low fat was dropping the link there for 7 amens before sundown. And
I've
then
never met
here's
Low Fat. Good to meet you, Low Fat. I'm Homer Glitch.
now, you were Red Bank before low fat, weren't you? I believe a little name change there, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, don't be offended. Zodok and the big sword from Ominous.
Yeah,
Apex says.
yeah. It's kind of like a little joke because I think he said the sword gets bigger and bigger. I thought I heard Elliot say that at one point, so I'm kind of playing into that a little bit.
Yeah. Why am I not surprised?
I thought it was funny. And plus it's like a He-Man reference. I have the power, and he's got a big ass sword and shit. I hope he thinks it's a little funny, like it's meant to be funny, but cool at the same time, you know.
Okay. We're just gonna let that one lay there. Um Blood Realm, Dawn of the Wolf. $14,917. Wow. Our friend Robert Geronimo. Wow. Knocking it out of the park on this one, huh? 243
Wow,
backers. That's a good
that
count
looks
for
cool.
that many backers. Absolutely. You know, black and white with red. Uh
Yeah,
I mean, he's got vinyl records with this, you know. So cool. He sold 50 of these Warriors of Light bundle. That you know, wow. That's the
wow.
majority of his funding there, you
What's with
know.
the what's is there music on there? What does he have on there? Obviously, it's music, right? Of some kind. His music. What?
Blood Realm soundtrack.
Wow, that sounds interesting.
Well, it interested 243 people thus far. I'll drop the
Hell
link to
yeah.
that over on Indiegogo. What I've read of Blood Realm, I do like, and that is a book that I have read. You know, the Alterna stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When he was, I mean, he's still at Alterna. Uh, I I thought, you know, I think that's pretty cool that, you know, he can run a campaign all by his lonesome, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
also, you know, have Alterna publish it, which will, you know, obviously Pete's already got his in the house stuff, and that's what he's printing out these samples with. And this campaign is to reimburse him, like you were saying. He must already
Yeah.
have the equipment because he's running tests and what it would look like.
Yeah.
Edwin Acevedo in the house. Hello, Buzz. How's it going?
What's up, Edwin?
Let me drop the link to Robert Geronimo's Indiegogo. We haven't looked at that in a while, but he's done very well with that. This is one that I've wanted to check in on over there on Fund My Comic. Downcast 4, Shelby Robertson exclusive cover. No, this is the Indiegogo one. So Clint Stoker. How cool is that? That Clint is related to Bram Stoker. Stoker.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's real
128
cool.
backers, which is criminal because this is some wonderful artwork, you know, in this campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, Downcast, I bought the first couple and the quality couldn't be better. So, you know, spot coloring on the just high end looking stuff, you know.
Yeah, it
Beautiful
looks great.
artwork.
I wish I'd backed it. Yeah.
Well, it's still available. This is 4. I did not back 3. I think you can get a checkup, you know, a ketchup on this,
Ketchup.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, you know, all those condiments. Um, I'm not sure. Is this Shelby? I mean, is this Kelsey Shannon artwork? It really looks Art and colors finished, lettering in progress.
Is that Kelsey? It doesn't look like Kelsey.
No, lettering is drawn by Eric Weathers. Is this Eric? Is this
Eric
Eric
Weathers?
Weathers artwork? Well, it's good artwork.
I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it.
It's good. It's good pacing. I mean,
Eric's
I like
pretty
it.
good.
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, I wasn't really that taken with. I mean, this is kind of neat. I think it's a wasted opportunity when you don't have the. Although the Croc Man is pretty cool. When you don't have that diver, somewhere on the cover.
Yeah.
But now they have a Shelby Robertson cover over on Fund My Comic, and they're only making 90 of that. Hunting Ground, At War with the Gods. So, interesting looking campaign over there on Indiegogo and Fund My Comic. If I were to back it, it would be the Shelby Robertson cover. Because that is a cool cover over there on Indiegogo.
Yeah, Shelby's pretty great.
Yeah, the diver is the most interesting character to me,
Yeah, well, he just looks badass, right? Like, it's just like, man, that looks badass.
Yeah, I mean, they went through so many different diving suit styles through the years, and I always wanted to do a character. Now, I don't know. I haven't read the first two, so I don't know anything about the character. Probably should get those out and read them, to find out, what those glowing eyes and in the diver suit and how he came about and everything. But I'd love to have I always had put off, making a diving suit character like that. Now that he's done it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to find a diving suit that's kind of different configuration and, make up a character like that. Because, hey, Don, I heard you had an incident on the show last night. Sorry about that.
What's up, Don? Yeah, the guy's name, he said something in the private chat. He said white power or some crap. And his name was Ernesto Derias, I think. That's what the private chat said. But I didn't know who it was.
And the thing of it is, they might not even be for white power. They may just be looking at people on the panel and,
yeah,
look, man, I'm not even sure the whites are the majority in this country anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Tokame in the house. Hey, Tokame. Held to the room chat panel, popping in for a second to test audio before a business meeting. There you go.
What up, Tokame?
Probably a bot or something. Maybe. I mean.
No, Don thought it was a Ripetard.
I mean, it could be anybody, right? Like, I just took it for granted that the guy that showed up with his face, but like you said, he could have clipped some video of somebody else sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
It might not even be the guy, even though that guy looked pretty freaky, and then the whatever he wanted to show, the pornography, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Another campaign we haven't looked at in a while, Matt Martin, Snowman #2 on Indiegogo. I know Shadow backed the very first one. Goes back all the way to Hall of Heroes, one of Ethan's friends. I've tried to go back and get some of the older snowmen for my collection. I already had a few in my collection. Snowman Ghost Dance over on Indiegogo.
I backed the first campaign, yeah.
Did you read it?
I haven't read. I mean, I haven't read it, but I looked through it and it was pretty freaking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I
think on the art was awesome.
I mean, you think about this. Good too, I read Snowman back in the day. His artwork has evolved over.
The chick is super smoking hot. Like he drew her like really beautiful.
Oh yeah, she's probably pictured down here. Look at that, Omer. That's a great image.
Yeah, that's cool for sure. Iconic.
Yeah, it's definitely got, this chick here with the war bonnet. Is that who you're saying smoking hot? Little Wing?
Yeah, but I think that's the kid version of her. I mean, she's just a kid, right? But
Okay. Well, look at this here. Whoa.
yeah, that one. Oh, I don't. That might not be her. I don't know. That might be a different character.
Well, good looking art,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, and the colors on this, I don't know, has he got Ethan's colorist on this?
Kyle. I don't know who's coloring it. I thought he was. I thought Matt Martin was doing a lot of it.
Well, if
I
he's
could be
doing the
wrong.
coloring on it, it's, great. I mean, nothing wrong with this
It,
coloring.
it looks like Kyle though. It has that color palette that Kyle.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
pinks and
he's
the blues.
Kyle's kind of got, I guess he's all over the place. He's kind of got a warmer palette, I guess it depends on what it is, but I've seen some cool stuff as
Yeah, I
well.
like Kyle's stuff. He's good. Yeah.
So actually, I take this as the bottom of his chin and teeth, right? Sort of made out of ice.
Right.
But it could almost be like a claw underneath there too.
His hand. Yeah.
Yeah, hand.
Claw hand.
Uh huh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what with this character of mine that I've kind of done something similar, with sort of like ice like sharpened teeth, and you get this stuff hanging off of him. I think he looks a lot like Doomsday, just by coincidence, the way I designed him.
Yeah. Coincidence.
Coincidental. Yeah, I really try and stay in my own headspace and don't go, oh, that's cool what Matt Martin, if it comes through, if I look at it and it kind of comes through more naturally, and there's always going to be similarities when you look at different characters,
Yeah.
I mean, now there are some artists that are so way out there, their stuff looks like nobody else's. I'm not going for that, but I'm definitely, when it comes to designing characters, I try and be unique, and not let anything overly influence me.
Chokame says, thank you, Eric. Lots of great people working on Edgepunk. Lots of great reviews, short stories, and promotions of indie products. That's awesome, dude.
Mm-hmm. He also says he's prepping for the launch of issue 3 in August.
Very nice.
Matt is a beast. Yes. $41,820. Not much to not, I mean, everybody must have read their first one except Omer. And
and
maybe
Rex.
Shadowhawk. I mean, 422 backers with almost 42,000. That's nothing to sneeze at, huh?
That's you.
Ended in April of this year, the campaign. I mean, as far as the campaign's still going. It's in demand. It went in demand after April. So been in demand for a little bit. I don't know how long it'll be up. I think the first one was up, a little while, but now that's to be expected when he's doing the coloring and the writing or whatever, doing so many things,
Yeah.
with the project.
Yeah, I could be wrong about the coloring.
It's definitely got the
a lot of it.
It's definitely got the 90s attention to detail, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a lot packed in.
Yeah, it's dope. He's dope.
Go check out Mercenary Guild in demand on Indiegogo, $702, 18 backers over there on Indiegogo. Of course, if there's multiple backers, it's going to give you a new backer number every time. The that's what I like about Fund My Comic.
Was it
Is
Mercenary Guild also on Fun My Comic right now? It's on both, right?
it is. It is. It's on both. Yeah. So if it has, 2 backers, or let's say it's got 20 backers, but one
Later.
guy backed it 5 different times, it's only going to count him once. So it's a little
Right.
bit more accurate backing count. Let's go ahead and play the trailer on this one.
In a small, war-ravaged town on a remote island, an evil once thought banished still lurks deep within the land and is reawakening. In this slowly healing community torn between 2 factions, an outcast band of adventurers strive to rebuild their lives and make this island their new home. As darkness encroaches upon the weary citizens, only the Mercenary Guild stands in its way. Join the guild at themercenaryguild.com to receive an exclusive Elven Sorceress trading card.
The thing I like most about this campaign is the logo that Luke came up
That
with.
label's
That's
pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. The sort of heated metal. Very cool.
Yeah. The titling
But
looks
yes,
good.
you can find it on Fun My Comic and Indiegogo as well as a lot of other campaigns, have done, launched on both those platforms.
Double
But
launching, yeah.
Double launching, yeah. My next book, I may launch on all 3 platforms. I'm going to start on Fun My Comic, probably go to Indiegogo, and I might, wrap it up with Kickstarter. I don't know.
Really, Rex? Wow.
Well, it's going to be a biggie, I hope.
Why wouldn't you start on Kickstarter and then jump from there? Like,
Well,
why
for one, I
Fun My
want to get
Comic?
the exclusive Fun My Comic, and then I don't know. We'll see. This is going to be a different one. This is going to be like something that, I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
I haven't given it much thought. I mean, I'm right now the scans are being made of the Buscema work, so we'll see. We'll see how we put it together. We want to put it together as, and I'll talk with LZ too, because he's got as much invested in this, if not more. He owns the majority of the artwork. I have not went through all my artwork yet, so I guess that remains to be seen. Most of his stuff is being scanned. We'll give it a little bit of time to see if we can come up with some more images. I know I have more around here, one in color. So, but most of it's going to be pencil work, preliminary stuff, and I think that's pretty cool to see a professional like Buscema and how he actually crafts stuff, together for those preliminary drawings.
Yeah, I hope it does well, man. It should do well.
Oh, while Tokame was here, I meant to ask him what happened to the Hillbilly Hangout, because I don't think that one ever happened last Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, but last Tuesday.
What is
I
this
like
Hillbilly
my comic
Hangout you
because it
speak
won't
of?
take my money much cheaper. Buckler at $2,600. I thought he, got like $50 or $55 off there, 50 backers. So I don't know if he had somebody pledge and then take it back or what. But that's where the Buckler is over there on Fun My Comic. the all in 115 pages, 16 pages, something like that. All in one.
Yeah, I gotta jump on that one when I can, man.
Well, it hasn't been out that long, so
Yeah.
you got some time with some of these. Sometimes, like even Charlie's London that I've been wanting to hop on, and that'll probably be fulfilling pretty soon. I don't know if she just had a baby, but the book's almost done, probably, and I definitely want to back that one. Spring Ball, $31,465 in demand over there on Indiegogo. So breaking $30 yet. $30, yes. $30 and $31,000. Drop the link to that one if you want to take a look at that. Glenn Fleming
Spring
in the house.
Ball. What's up, Glenn?
Real artwork being done on the show. He's excited that you're doing, real penciling and inking.
I try. A little pencil, a little inking.
I had the power. I never really grew up listening to that. I didn't watch a lot of He-Man. I did watch some of it. And I do have some episodes on disc now, along with the female character. Had her own show.
She-Ra,
yeah. I've got at least over a disc that has 10 episodes on it, and I've got some others. Here's
How
an
old
older
were you
campaign.
when He-Man came out?
I was in college, or
okay.
high school, I guess. High school, college years. An older campaign here. Shout out to Justin K. Sweet, our friend that helped me put up the Devil Flyer campaign. Is an admin over there at Fund My Comic. 39 backers. Altogether raised, I guess, 8,000-9,000. Close to that. You had all the campaigns up on that, so not bad. But when you hit the big artists like Aaron Lopresti and make some metal cards and stuff like that, it does get expensive. So don't price yourself out. I did that a little bit on the Ashcan. At the end I tacked on trading cards and bookmarks and magnets, and then I had to send all that stuff out. I took my tax return and whatever else I was earning at the time, and it kind of hit during that lull time when I haven't started a new season. So timing you can't underestimate on some of these things. Like
Right.
I tried to back Hockey's book. It was messing up on me. For some reason, it was a very expensive venture to back his book. But my bank rejected it a couple times, and then immediately after that, he took the campaign down, so I didn't have an opportunity to get his book. But some of it's the timing. I didn't
Rex,
have a lot.
you have to have money in your bank account to buy stuff. Just kidding.
Well, with some of these foreign things, they get a security alert, and they don't want to do it without checking with you. And I have to go down there every freaking time and say, like, if I back Charlie's London, they're probably going to reject it because she's over in the UK, and I'll have to say, let this go through. And with that, I may be proactive and back it, and then just go down the next day or that very same day and say, let this go through, just as a security thing.
Yeah, I had a security alert put on my account for like a year. Oh man, it was such a pain.
Eventually, I went down there. It's not local. Usually it's at the headquarters, somewhere else in the state or out of state that does that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I finally went down there and hey, can you ease up on the security alert thing? Like, they still get alerts, right? But it's just alerts, so I know. But they're like, oh yeah, it's because there was a little bit of fraud activity on my account for a little bit, like 1 or 2 transactions. They weren't big, right? They were like $5-6 ones, and I was like, "Hey, what are these things?" And they're like, "Oh, so it might be fraud or something." So I got that put on there and left it on
Yeah.
for about a year. But after that, it got solved. Got a new card. That
Well,
solved
when
it.
you want to back, internationally, someone else that's not in the country, it can get a real,
Yeah, messy.
one campaign we haven't looked at here, but was recommended by Eric and Boyd the other day. The bad guy, Clint Helinski campaign over there on Indiegogo.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about it.
Can't wait to chop this one up. Uh-huh.
Now watch this.
When the world is in danger. That's me, by the way.
Yeah,
And the world's
that
top
looks so
spot.
J. Scott. This summer, coming to you from Clint Helinski, aka the other J. Scott
World
Campbell.
Hey, wait a minute. You were doing the gold finger thing. Come on, man. Really? Okay. See
It's
there?
kind of funny. It's pretty funny.
Laser to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
crotch.
The gold
I know.
finger, the laser
Yeah,
in
I
the
know.
crotch. Yeah, yeah.
Gold
This
finger,
is so J. Scott Campbell. Like he copied everything he's ever done.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I like it though. Hell with it.
Look
Keep-
at the
keep adapting.
styling in the hair. These
Yeah,
3
man.
characters in the
Oh,
foreground.
it's so Arthur Adams too. Like, oh
Mhm.
man, yeah, definitely Arthur Adams, J. Scott Campbell, like, totally.
I can see the Campbell in there for sure, and Adams. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, right on the tits. Focus in the first. The back. Look at those bikini babes. Wow.
You.
Oh, I like that
You-
end
you-
credit scene. Like it's a movie. That's great. That's great.
Mhm.
Clint's
you-
funny, man. He's funny. I mean, he's copying the
gotta
shit
love-
out of everything, but fuck it. It's funny though. It's funny. And he's telling
He
the
what
story,
now?
you know?
He what now?
I say he's copying the shit out of everything, but he's
Yeah.
funny and he's telling a good story and he's trying to just have fun, you know, and hot babes and draw cute chicks and and he's telling a story. It looks fun. That's what I like about Clint stuff. He's just trying to have fun, man. Not taking it too serious, but making something cool and fun, in the end. So he's fighting Indiana Jones. Look at these chicks, God. Who wouldn't want to draw that shit? Jeez. It's great.
That chit, man. That chit.
Yeah. It's good shit. It's good shit.
The bad guy's big score.
I backed one of
$165.
Clint's or 2 of his campaigns, and I did one a big bundle, and I got a bunch of his stuff. It's great.
Now, did you back what was it called? The Superiors? I backed that one.
I think I got that one and the one with the Slave Girl Planet. I did those 2, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'd
Now,
have to look for them. I don't know where they're at the moment. Yeah, 007 versus Indiana Jones, absolutely. Yes. Well, it speaks to my crotch is what it speaks to. No, I'm just kidding. Fun espionage campaign. Yes, absolutely.
I've just figured it out. Self-portrait confirmed.
I wish I looked like that kid.
You're projecting, and I mean a long way. You might hit Idaho by nightfall.
Too funny, man.
Well, I try and be.
Yeah. Well,
I
as
don't
long as you
always
keep trying.
succeed with you around, but I try.
Yeah. No, you're funny.
You can take the abuse. I love it. $20,000 on Amarok over on Indiegogo. This guy's going to be eternally 19 years old. I think. I don't think
the other
that's ever
David
going to
Finch.
age. Yeah, it definitely indicated, inspired David Finch.
Yeah.
Nice logo
But David,
though. I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
I like a little rougher, a little cruder type artwork. Often, something that's not so fancy and streamlined. I like both, but sometimes you just
Mhm.
want to break out and go, okay, here it is. Here's my comic.
Mhm.
That's kind of like death, death, death. It's going to be like it's going to be just like over the top in a lot of ways. Yeah, I mean this whole character. I know he's a good guy, right? I guess. Reminds me of was it Hellspawn from
Yeah.
whose villain was he? Was that Jim Lee or was that
Oh, Hellspawn. Yeah. Yeah, that was
yeah,
Jim Lee Wildcats. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, Andy
Yeah, because
from,
he's got that upper weird cowl thing, mask,
well, I mean just
Wolverine
his
type thing.
face, with the
Yeah,
flaming on his head and
and the blue.
the big ears or whatever you want to call that.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Definitely.
it's definitely, definitely detailed work. I mean, he's putting everything into capturing that 90s vibe that he probably grew up on, right?
Yeah.
For his age
It
work,
has a lot
I
of
mean,
Sylvester in
age,
it too. I mean,
yeah,
obviously Finch is very influenced by Sylvester too, but like
right.
this guy, uh, our Jedi, yeah. Like if you look at the pages, they feel more Sylvester than Finch
He
until they
wouldn't
get
have to ink
inked.
this. I mean, he could just do a pencil version. And in fact, if
Yeah.
somebody's going to put this much into the pencils, I think you should probably always do a pencil version as long as it will reproduce, it's dark enough to reproduce.
Right.
If we
Perpetually
reach 10K,
19-year-old.
which they did, every backer will get this sticker pack. So everybody, a backer is getting the sticker pack. At 20K, each backer will receive a trading card by the skilled 19-year-old artist Ken Wang. It's amazing that they're pushing that. But I guess, if you're, can do work of this quality, why not kind of push yourself off as a prodigy or something? But now here we're talking about different people here. Here's 19-year-old Kenny Wang, and then down here is 18-year-old artist Andrew uh, Garverette, right? So I guess different friends of his that want to get into comics.
Yeah, I don't
They
think I don't think he's 18 or 19 anymore. I think he's finally like 20, 21 now.
well, I'm saying these are different people that he's citing. Here's 18-year-old Andrew
Oh,
Garverette
gotcha.
artwork. Here's 19-year-old Ken Wang. So he must have friends that he draws with or part of his team
Yeah,
that are around the
right,
same age as he is.
right.
Yeah. I mean, there's the man himself, the young man
Just
himself.
like all the rest of us then, huh? We're hanging out with people who are kind of our same age.
Exactly. And liking the same things. And,
Right.
let's take a look real quick. Let's chop it up. Let's do it.
Do it.
Knox Comics. Oh, yeah. I've heard this same public domain stuff.
Music.
Yeah. On other
Yeah,
campaigns.
there's only so much of it, Rex. Everybody's got to share it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely 90s inspired.
Yeah.
Now, before we break into the guitar here, which is going to be coming up in the music, if you think about it, if he's 19, he really wasn't around when a lot of that stuff was
These
coming
comics
out
came
from
out.
Image.
Yeah.
but you
Right.
can see an influence, that's his jam. So maybe early on he got some of that image stuff. I don't know,
His dad's comics. I think it was his dad's comics.
Okay. Well, before before I knew who David Finch was, I was buying his stuff. I just gravitated to it. His new Avengers covers and
Ascension,
um Ascension.
Cyberforce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
That
stuff
Ascension
like
stuff
Ascension,
was awesome.
would catch my eye. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what George Perez did for me, like, 2 or 3 decades before. It just everything I saw George Perez kind of drew me, and for other people, it's going to be other things. Elsie joining the show here. Hey, Elsie, we're just
What's
finishing
up,
up
Elsie?
this right here.
Okay. I didn't have it. Yeah, but I didn't have it. Okay, I'll just do it. Oh, you that way. Okay. Okay, baby. I love you. Bye-bye.
I like that little hop at the end.
I love you too,
You were
baby.
talking, but I did not hear your words, Elsie. Can you hear us?
Oh, yeah.
He was on the phone.
I'm here. Yeah, my
Okay.
daughter called me for a quick second, and you showed the trailer, and so now I'm back, and here I am. Went to saw my brother. I just hadn't been awake very long.
You went to Memphis to see your brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
Nice.
all like I went with him. I got there about noon yesterday, and I stayed till this morning about 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I drove home, and then I'm now just awakening.
Wow. Well,
The awakening of Elsie.
the
You're
good thing,
working
Elsie, is where he lives is kind of like on the outskirts, the suburbs of Memphis. You don't have to
it was a lot
deeply
easier.
have to go into Memphis.
Yeah,
You can, and it's on your side coming in from
Yeah.
Jackson. So
yeah. It's
that
real
makes it a little
close.
bit more
A
convenient.
lot closer than if I had to go like cross Memphis to Fraser.
Right,
or
like to
somewhere.
Front Street or something like that.
Gosh, Oh my God! Yeah, it'd been
When-
another half hour. Or
When I was going down to
45
Atlanta, I took, I thought, well, I'll just take Front Street down to Crump and the Old Bridge and all that. Out there now, Elsie, they've got tons of new condos, apartments, and stuff that
I'm telling
they
you,
have really built that place up. Stuff
they
that
have.
was never there,
And they're high end condos. We're not talking about you ain't
Yeah.
living down there cheap.
and the traffic is so much more,
Oh,
and the bikers and things like that, the walkers.
it's just like everything's a lot more chaotic in Memphis. I'm so glad I don't live there.
Mhm.
It was even just that I was there in a weekday, and the people they're nuts. They lost their minds. I mean, I don't drive around in town here flying around somebody at 70 mile an hour. In town, maybe on the
Yeah,
expressway, but
background,
not
Yeah.
going through town, cruising down the 45 or 40, and then all of a sudden somebody goes, meow. Not just once, constantly. I'm like,
Yeah.
golly.
Well, basically, you can take interstate till you hit Covington, right? Or you got to go through.
Yeah, I take it all the way to Germantown exit,
Uh-huh.
and I get off and go left, and I cruise all the way down to Walnut Grove, make a left, and I'm almost at his house.
Yeah,
So,
and
you
he's
know, I
got a
just get off.
big lake area out there. Very
Oh,
nice
yeah.
place.
But it's
Probably.
bad. He needs you down there spraying, boy. It's bad down there.
I bet it is with that
you
water
to
source
hate
and
it.
that coverage.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's kind of reminiscent of your dad's place,
Kind
you
of
know,
is
had
to
that
me.
fishing spot behind there, behind his
Man, I
house
couldn't
as well.
believe it, man. He said I was sitting there, and he goes, I wonder how much this house is worth. He pulled it up on Google, and he put his address in and Googled it. That house is worth $418,000.
Wow. Well, I was
Holy
going to
wow.
ask you, what you thought the value of his house was. I'm really surprised it's not a cool million. at least.
Well, it will be long. I told him, I said, just hang on to it for a little while longer. It'll be worth. It's going to keep going up. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, out there in Memphis, that kind of property, oh, it's premium.
Was he kind of shocked at how much it had went up in value? Because he's lived there for a while.
Oh, he's told it's more than doubled in value.
Okay. So wow.
So,
yeah.
That's great. I said, you hold it for another 10 and it'll double again. That'll make it worth $1 million.
Well, how was he doing? He must have been, is somebody
Well,
there staying with him, with some of his kids or anything like that? No?
Well, they stay at K. They come over and, basically, he loves having his kids around. I mean, that's the best way to handle things. Get people around you that love you,
Yeah.
It's
I
kind of
mean,
like when I have a problem, I call you or I call my friends. I call people that care about me, and that I care about too. And so I know it's reciprocated. And so those are the people I call.
Him in that big house is not going to be good just alone,
Well, he can fill it with life. See,
Yeah, exactly.
I said, you plan it. You either move, get it smaller or reasonable that you can handle, or you fill it with life. Have people there. I'd say, man, if I had a place like that, man, my kids, y'all can move in free, no rent, just come here. Well, man, my grandkids, come on, we're gonna save money. We're gonna help y'all make it real big because you don't have to pay rent. We'll put it in savings every month. And do something.
Yeah, I mean,
positive.
Your home is your greatest asset. You don't have to pay rent, then you're blessed.
Not many people own a piece of property like that, my friend.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's lake front, and that lake's pretty big. I don't know how many acres.
He's got a pier, a pontoon boat behind it. He's got a Beamer. He's got a vet, and he's got a nice Jeep.
Oh wow!
He's just like, he doesn't know what he's going to do. He's got a lot, and I told him, man, it's almost at a point. He says, well, I've heard when something happens tragic, you just don't make quick, rash decisions.
That is very smart of him to say so. I'm glad he I mean, he's
my
still
brother is let me tell you something, man. I sat there, Rex, and my brother read me poems he had written 90 over you. He said, he goes, Elsie, I'm not going to, he goes, this is weird. He said, you've heard of prevision, that your mind, that stuff is supposed to. He says, I started taking that. And after about 2 weeks, I started writing poems. And I took that stuff for about a year. He goes, I wrote 90 in that year, and they just came to me and they just flowed. And they were awesome, dude. I mean, freaking publishable. Those things it blew. Just because he's my brother, I know I might be a little biased, but you could put that out in the middle of anywhere and people be going,
well, he's a talented, thoughtful guy, and
he's a good man.
Absolutely, got a good heart, very generous guy, and
Well, I sometimes, a lot of times I say, well, he's a little materialistic to me because the way he felt about things really just kind of disturbed me a little bit. Stuff was real meaningful to him, And to me, I've gotten to the point, that's what it is stuff. And I'm not going to let it.
Yeah. And you've been saying that for a couple of decades now. It's just stuff. I think you told me that when I suffered my fire.
Once I retired, once your mortality starts looking you in the face, the closer you get, you start seeing, hey, man, it's just stuff. The only thing that means anything are my friends and my family and people.
And who's going to be there when you really need them, when the chips are down?
That's something you're not going to purchase, my friend.
Exactly. Yeah. We done paid in.
There's people with billions of dollars that would like it, but can't get it.
Yeah, true. I mean, if it's not working for you, change your strategy.
There's still hope, Elsie. Mail order bride from Ukraine. That's what I'm shooting for.
I'm just shooting for peace. I really don't I've never liked war. I never was behind it, even though it was necessary sometimes. I saw that, but I still didn't like it. Because always innocent people die. and that's
Oh,
not
yeah,
good.
that-
And
yeah,
Trump
100%.
was like, I don't want people to die. That's why he was trying to do all the stuff. At least that's what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he got tired of seeing people slaughtered, you know, in these areas. But you know, I also know it's for other reasons. Business.
Well, I mean, you know, it's
I
you know,
know.
the Iran getting becoming a nuclear power, and that is a very
That
heady
can't happen.
thing. You know, you got North Korea, and you see how that's destabilized in that
Imagine
area.
you get two people, and they'd probably band together, knowing them
And
two.
really, if only American and Russia had the bomb, the nuclear
Well, you know,
capability, that would
and
be
see,
enough. But you've got North Korea, you've got China, you've got India, you've got Israel, you got
we
Yeah.
hear
you know,
things all the time, you know, and at this age, I'm 68. I've heard stuff all my life. Now, when I was young, I could believe the reporters. There was only a few, and they
Right.
reported what they saw and the truth. That was their job. Later on, when technology starts spiraling and it starts getting more and more and more, and then the next thing you know, people almost I could live right here in this room and not leave, and have my food delivered to me, have my, you know, I wouldn't have to even leave the house.
I mean,
you
basically,
know?
that's what my mother's doing across the street in the facility. They've got activities. You know, she has
Yeah.
devotionals, Bible studies, you know, puzzle table. They do different. She made a little patriotic craft thing to hang up on her door. I mean, they do, and that was painting. You know, that was like
Well,
on
see,
one of
that's
those
good stuff.
canvas boards that you
That's
use.
positive things to
Absolutely, and
me,
she's
you know,
very.
because I know
She needs people
painting and
around.
drawing are therapy for me. I
Mhm.
bet they're therapy for you, Omer. You draw in a different way. My brother draws in a different way. My brother's totally different artist than me, but I say he's in a caliber on his own. My brother is an artist. I couldn't do what he did. I probably could if I wanted to spend days on one drawing, but I can't.
Well,
I
you
got
know,
too much to do.
he did that
I
under high pressure. You know, all
Well,
those
yeah.
surgical
His
techniques and
his
everything, drawing
training.
that stuff.
Look, his training was different than my training.
Right. Yeah.
I was training in impressionist and seeing the artist just
And
create to
more of the
create.
fine
My
arts, and he was
brother,
more
my
into the
brother was
graphics.
working for My brother was working for doctors, drawing those veins and those bones and everything, muscles precise, and showing how the operation went. And all those doctors were teaching interns using my brother's stuff to
Mhm.
teach them how to
Mhm.
operate and get this tumor out. And it was a revolutionary, you know, at the time, the process was revolutionary. They would remove a person's white blood cells, zap them with chemotherapy, let it soak in, and it took a while because that's very dangerous when you don't got no white blood cells. Then, bam, they inject them all back in, and they're not damaged, so they can go to work. You know,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
that. But still, I'm sure the chemo did kill some when they reintroduced them, but probably didn't attack, you know, just didn't destroy them like it
Right.
can.
Yeah.
But it showed how he used a laser. He drew a laser of hitting a tumor and shrinking it like a prune, you know. It was
Mhm.
a trip to see all that. That's the kind of stuff he did, you know.
Oh,
But he did it for books.
we
And,
went over
and
there. You and I both went
yeah,
over there when you were
it was,
still in this
it was
area,
pretty
and
interesting, wasn't it? At the
yeah, I
time,
mean,
Rex,
he
because at
showed
that
me a whole
time,
box this big of like he says this box is 6 months worth of
well,
work, you know, and
but so what I'm
uh
telling you is, you know, at that, what, 87, 88, 89, somewhere 90, was it somewhere in there. But you know how computers were. To me, I didn't know what a computer was. I didn't deal with no computer when I was in the 90s over there in Arkansas, except maybe at the library or something, you know. Got
spider
it?
there or something. Yeah, got it.
Squishy.
Uh, re-
So,
I
you
am
know, it
now
was kind of
crushing your
neat.
head.
Rex and I go in this business. We see a computer that could probably fly at the moon. It looked like one of those things they had in, you know.
He had some of his college, you know, back there in that sitting area. He had some of his college artwork, like this winged horse or something back there you know,
There's no
up
telling
top
what he's
in
got.
like a loft area. I mean, it was a neat little sitting area back there that we kind of congregated
Yeah,
and had
Boy, he's
coffee.
got a nice studio. I'm telling you, Rex, he's got a mansion. I'm not saying, you've been there, hadn't you?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I've been there a couple times, and
I
you
would
know,
say
once
it is. Now, I would say it's not a palace. No, but you got
you know,
more
I
than you
was
need.
there on 4th of July with
4th of
you, and we
July.
watched fireworks, and your mom and dad were there, and
Yeah, you didn't tour
uh,
the whole house though, did you? You didn't see everything.
you know, I
You
still
got to
remember
see
that
it.
living room and the big screen
Yeah,
TV where we sit
right. Yeah,
and
you
watch
remember
the
that.
tornadoes. And
Wow, this is wild.
yeah, yeah, I probably saw the whole thing, but I can't remember the whole
I
thing.
gotta get. Are you gonna be on, aren't we, for a few? I'm gonna get a
Yeah,
drink. I'm
yeah,
at the dock.
I can kind of remember the kitchen area, kind of where we congregated, and then
Because
also
that's where you came in
in the
the
living
kitchen
room, and yeah,
and the little dining room over there.
little dining room, yeah,
Then you
very
walked out
nice.
that door. Then we
Yeah,
walked out a back door and went down the
and
stairs.
then
Went
you
to
know
the
had
dock.
the steps that go down to the water to the dock. You know where I think we even fished at one
Yeah,
time. I don't know,
I'm
but
sure we did all kinds of stuff.
yeah, we
Man.
watched. Remember, we had those glasses that would
Oh yeah.
enhance the fireworks, and we
Yeah,
were
remember
looking.
I bought
All of us were
the whole
looking through the
thing of
glass.
them. I took them down there and gave them out to everybody. I still had the tube till it broke apart, and
Yeah.
I had like one pair left.
Well, go get your sody, as you call it, and
Okay, well,
come
my
back.
Coca-Cola. But,
Carrie
yes,
says,
I will.
Halsey, could you show us some of your brother's art sometime if you have photos of it?
I'll go down. I think I got a couple originals. I could go. It's his early stuff. I could
Yeah,
grab them when I get my
I've
photo.
got some of Lee's stuff. I've even got a etching that he did back in college that he gave me.
Oh yeah, but I could show you some drawings. Oh,
Yeah.
blow your because now when it's creative and it's his stuff, he still has that same training, the same way he does things.
I've got
Like
one
me.
angel piece that he did with some angels or an angel.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. It's probably early 90s that he did. But Lee's one that I would kind of like to draw in, to, actually get into comics and do some, a cover or some kind of, character type stuff. Just to see his style, in comics would be cool. I may give him some photo reference to, a file or something at some time and here pretty soon. And, I definitely want him to have time to grieve the death of his wife. He's been through a lot. But he needs to kind of refocus his energies and focus, so we'll get Elsie back here and Omer here in a bit. Wrap up the show. I do have to clock in at, I think, 7:15. Probably going down Wynn again, but I never really know. They don't tell me anymore. That sounds about right. If I go to Wynn, I'm happy, whether it's east or west. I prefer west, and west is so much more area. But then if you're not spraying at all, you can kind of pick and choose, and I try and pick the different zones, the different spots, and kind of alternate those up. Some nights, might be a little lazy and say, well, I'm going to kind of take it easy and not go down every road and turn around and, do all the maneuvers that you have to do on some you just want to kind of, you're going nowhere quick going 14 miles an hour, average of 12 and a half miles an hour, and which isn't easy to maintain that speed. I'm kind of used to it, when you're going up a hill to navigate or down a hill, kind of keep it constant all the time. Yes, like, follow, and share. Hit that bell for notification. Sub to the channel. Absolutely. I've actually lost some subs, but you never know with YouTube. Yeah, I'm showing 539. We were up to 532 at the peak. I think we're doing
over
fine,
the last
though.
2-3 weeks, I've been finding it hit 630, and I'm at 629. And finally settled there for the last 3 days, 629. But man,
Yeah.
for 2 weeks, I was going from anywhere from 622 to 625, 27.
It's going to fluctuate up and down, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely. Yesterday's show, we went a little bit longer, but not that much longer. Not even 30 minutes longer on the show. 100 views. 100 views at the close of it. Average view time about 8.5 minutes. Peak of 10 people. So
Nice.
Hey,
I'll take it.
I've
Yeah,
had
definitely.
classes smaller than that, bro.
Yeah, and that's not
Lots
the
more.
final count. The final count.
I'm just talking about the group having that many people at one time, you know.
Right.
So I've had classes smaller than that.
I got that from what you. Yes.
Oh, I
got
thought
that.
you were
Okay,
talking
so
about overall.
total, as I was trying to say, got cut off, but nobody ever says that. You know, Rex never gets cut off. Yeah. Yes, I
Well,
do
got
every
cut
day.
off.
Yeah, I cut people off and they cut me off, so it's fair, equal opportunity. Anyway, I'm just busting here. Yeah, I'm actually in a great mood.
Maybe that'll change.
Okay, 112 views. That's all I wanted to say, and then I would have been done, and then you could interject. But,
Hey, well, get this, Rex. I was just looking at my numbers from the hump day currently, and it's so the last hump day show 753, right? Was the views. This hump day 106 is the height. So I don't know what happened there with the hump day. It was getting a peak because the one before that was 582.
I think
And
that's
then
the
on
lowest
average-
one, isn't it? 100 and something views.
Yeah, now the lowest one is like 86. So 40.
Really? I never thought. Yeah, maybe the first one or something.
The very first one was 90. About 86 is the lowest one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what was different about last week?
Rex was on there.
I wasn't there.
You were
Your views are down. I wasn't there. No, that's not it. I'm really shocked at those numbers.
Well, I think there's it's HeroesCon fatigue from last weekend and all the crap that was on the internet, and people are just like, nah, I'm just gonna stay off the web. You know what I mean?
Well, I got
think
news
that's what
for
it
you.
is.
Not
It's
everybody
fatigue.
goes to HeroesCon.
No, yeah, but a good portion of the internet like watched everybody else go to the HeroesCon, and then like the beginning of the week, you had HeroesCon fatigue for everyone. You know.
Yeah.
I think we even felt it, you know, even though we didn't go to HeroesCon, we felt it with all the drama and just seeing all the cool stuff, you know.
Well, our numbers have done pretty good here. You know, we've done we had great numbers on the show that we had to privatize yesterday. 112 views, 63, 92, 116, 90, 63. 48 and on and on and on, you know. So it really fluctuates around here, but glad to see, you know, that at least there's a couple of shows that have reached pretty close to 100 and a couple of shows that actually went pretty well beyond that. So it just depends
those midnight
on the
streams, dude. Yeah, it just depends on the day. Yeah, those weird morning hour streams are crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a sweet spot in there on some days, not every day, but when people are waking up and whatnot, and there's not that much really to pick from.
Yeah, last night on Don's show, like when we started, there was like 10 people watching. When we ended, there was like 50 people watching.
Wow.
And that was like 4 in the morning.
And that's just on YouTube. That's not if he's streaming it
everywhere.
To X or Facebook or somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, man, and you know what? When I hit YouTube, Rex, I see. Well, maybe it's because I view it, but yours comes up, Hump Day comes up, and you know I see Apex. Like y'all are up there being shown, you know, like a choice right up the top. And
oh, really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rex always comes out at the top for me when I pull up YouTube.
And
If
you
he's
too,
on,
bro.
yeah. Or he just
You're
went
right
on, or
behind him.
Apex too. Nice. Cool.
Well, a few people find me entertaining, so very
Yeah.
few, but I'm bummed.
Well, some find
Uh,
you sexy too, but
if they do, if they don't, yeah. Well, yeah, that goes without saying. But
We're not
so we
talking about
won't
the
say it.
weirdos, man. Okay.
Carrie says, Rex, are you going to get monetized again? I am monetized. It's just I need to get them my tax information and take out a day and do that. You know,
You got
we'll be
a
working on stuff
W-2
like that.
form?
We'll get it back, you know, get
If you
that
got
dollar sign back
W-2
up.
form, you'd have it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I got a
that number's
W-2. I could, yeah, I need to
yeah,
sit down there
that
and do
tax
that. That's
number's
just
on
been
there.
me focused on other things.
It'll have a taxpayer number, and that's all you need.
I don't know how much creator gets from YouTube, but it's extra income for you, right? Yes, absolutely. It's you know,
Helps.
of course, people super chat. They can super chat and super stickers and all that. And then there's the ad income, which isn't much, but I mean, it all adds up, you know, and they pay off every $100. So, you know, in there now, maybe with the ads of the ones that were monetized, I might be getting pretty close to my first 100. I know just with the super chats, I had about 60 or 60 something, you know, that's rough in there. So, you know, I need to definitely get on that. I know Omer would have been like, man, I would have had that done weeks ago. I know you would have, but you know, that's not Mr. Procrastination here.
Mr. Procrastination takes
Well,
his
I
time.
do procrastinate a little bit.
I do take my time. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's one good thing you do, Omer. You spend the time, and it does take you a lot of time to send out links, to advertise, you know, to
Well, see, here's what it is. Omer
reach
has
all the
the ability.
platforms.
He
Huh?
knows a lot more than the average Joe, and he can say what he wants. But as far as technology, there's a lot of people out there, whole lot smarter than Rex or I, and we've been at it for just a couple of decades. And I know people that grew up with it. They've done it since they were a kid, and it doesn't. They don't even blink an eye, or they did it when they were working. They don't even think about what they're doing. People like you, Omer, you can send links and do this kind of stuff, all this stuff, and it's like nothing to you. And then
Secondhand
to us,
language.
it'd be
Yeah.
like going, oh, what the hell?
Yeah,
just
well, I've
saying.
tried to impress on Omer when we get together. It's like, how do you not remember this? And it's like, look, man, for one, you're dealing with a very unique brain. I've
Well,
always went my own way, and done
Rex,
things differently. And yeah, I process things differently, definitely.
You move
Rex, when
differently, like Eric July.
Omer, when Rex,
Oh,
25
you know,
years ago, Rex, 25 years ago, you and I would get together. We would be yabbering, talking. We wouldn't work. We would be listening and talking at the same time, both of us, and we wouldn't quit for hours. And we were on the phone. We were talking about this, and it was like, and now it's like, it's almost like we got to come in with etiquette. And I'm trying,
well,
to
now
be.
I tried to call you last night, but or if yeah, a couple times.
I was out there running around.
But you were with your brother,
man. I did a lot of stuff, man. I helped him get things like he wanted it a whole lot. That's what I spent the whole time doing.
Yeah,
doing little stuff, but it was stuff I could do.
One day.
He just told me what to do, all day
one
long.
time I went down there and we painted Elsie's house for like 4 days. That's all we did was paint the different rooms. That's all we did.
Nice.
That trip. We painted everything till we ran out of paint in the laundry room. And it's still that way.
Still that way.
Yeah.
Still that way, brother.
Yeah.
Stay.
Yeah. How's Honey doing?
Your
dog?
She's doing a lot better.
Yeah.
She freaked out when I left. Of course, she just she totally just.
She misses you when you're not there.
Well, she shuts down, man. She don't go outside. She don't
about the only time that you take her is probably to the vet, right? Outside the home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you taken her to the vet a few times?
Oh, many times, yeah.
Yeah. She
It's
probably
like I gotta
enjoys it,
scoop
right?
her up. No, I gotta
She
scoop
doesn't?
her up, take her, and she hunkers down in the car, freaking out the whole
Really?
time.
Wow.
Yeah, but when you stop and you have her leash on, she'll jump out and be fine, you know.
No,
But when
Honey's
you're
not been
driving,
poorly. Honey's fine. It's just she kind of gets in a weird mood when Elsie's not there.
yeah, and she
For
was feeling, wasn't
out of
feeling
his
so.
routine. He can leave for a few hours and pick up the grandkids and from school and come
She
back, and
wait,
she's fine. But anything that breaks a routine and he should be there, but he's not, freaks her out somewhat. And see, she's
yeah, but
opposite from
like okay,
Abby. She
take
likes to
it's like
go. I mean, if I said
yeah.
let's go bye bye, she's ready to
Hey,
go.
I wish that was the same with mine. But
Mhm.
she'll lay down that floor like she don't know what's going to happen. I think she's been dumped. Who knows what that dog's been through? I don't know.
That's
Could be
true
her
because she was a
nature.
rescue dog. Yeah,
And I don't worry about her. I let her be what she is, If she don't want to
um,
go outside and go to the bathroom all day, if she can hold it, I say let her, if that's
yeah,
what she chooses to do. If
yeah,
you don't want to go out, don't make her. Just let her be. She's not gonna pee in the floor or do anything unless she's got to go. She'll let you know.
yeah. Abby's been
Yeah.
doing better. I think that medicine is doing her well. I'd have started in the last 2 or 3 days, Elsie, the second round, the second
Let me
month
tell you the
of
best
pills.
everything, the best news that we ever got is that Abby didn't have heartworms.
Well, that and
And
yeah, or
no,
any
Rex,
other
I'm telling
organ
you, man,
problem or anything.
that
Yeah,
is serious,
yeah,
especially
that's a
the
death
older they
sentence
get.
almost. Yeah,
Well, when they're old, it practically is.
yeah,
Even when they're young, it's not something easily beat.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, absolutely. And she'll be 13 this
I
November.
mean,
So
look, when somebody's as old as her, I mean, yeah, you got some aches and pains and some issues. So what? We do too. She's a
and
living
a lot of
creature.
your dog doesn't convey that to you. They just suffer in
No, they
silence.
can't.
But
Yeah, they don't know what to say.
yeah, but now she's pretty spry. I mean, she gets around good, like
You
a
can tell when they're
dog
nothing on
young, half
themselves. I
her
mean,
age.
they're like a kid, really. If
Yeah.
you have them with you all the time,
Oh,
that's the way
absolutely.
my
Yeah.
dog is. Like
Yeah.
part of the family. You kick my dog, you're kicking me. I'd be going. There'd be somebody springing on you quick. I
Today
seen that
is
damn mess
Carrie's
before.
cat's birthday. Her cat
What
is
happened?
11.
What's
11
your
today.
cat's name?
Shadow.
Happy birthday, Shadow.
Happy
Sweet
birthday, kitty.
Shadow.
Yeah, I
Sweet
mean,
kitty,
just like
kitty.
we get out
They're
of a
angels,
routine,
man. People can say what
routine
they
really
want.
helps.
Hey,
Yeah,
gents, I'm
it
gonna take
does.
off. Y'all have a good night.
Where you
Grab some
Okay,
to
going,
eat.
Homer.
man? Where you
Yeah,
flying off? Is that a sword?
yeah, yeah.
Dang, man.
Well, he
But
claims it is,
I
but
Looks
isn't just
double edged to me, man.
a big pocket
Double
hot
edged to
dog?
me.
Isn't that just another
No, man.
adage for a sword? Another.
I'm gonna grab something to
Homer,
eat. Well, y'all
be
have a good
cool,
night.
Homer.
Rex, you have a good night at work. Elsie, good to
Might
see you,
I
sir.
suggest roast beef?
Oh, roast
Roast
beef. I love roast beef.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah. I've been buying these
tight.
because actually the deli meat is in two separate, wrapped up in
Yeah, but if
plastic.
it ain't in the refrigerator, it's gonna go bad. Oh, you just saved the
Am I
package.
froze or
Okay.
just shocked, folks? I mean,
I don't know. I'm shocked you got
Later, guys.
roast beef in your
let's see
hand.
them.
I'm
Okay,
shocked there's roast beef in your hand, brother.
there is
That's
not
what shocks me.
roast beef in
Oh,
my hand. That is not
okay.
roast beef. Um, yeah, like I've been buying these for the containers. Actually, yes, there's cheaper ways to buy containers, but actually, deli meat is a good way to give her medicine. Although I've been using cheese, just wrapping it up in a little bit of cheese, and
It's pretty
giving it
good
to her.
too.
Yeah, I've been keeping my drink mixes because I have a drink box collection. Some of you might know. Um, and yeah, these are great for the drink mixes. Now it still smells like roast beef in there a little bit, although
Hope
it
the
was
drink
sealed.
don't taste like that.
But yeah, I've got 3 of these. So yeah, this took care of my extra drink mixes, you know. Um, I don't know if you saw this, but a variant right on the pest socks here. I got these the other day, another Deadpool, because I figured these would be popular. It's kind of got that little hanging piece of paper there that's perforated, so you can kind of rip that off if you want and give it as a gift or whatever. But now, and most of these Pez socks have that, but this one's kind of a variant. I found this the other day where it's actually printed on there. $1.25 for the crew socks. So this is unique out of all of the others I have. I really didn't have a lot of time to check in just to what was showing, you know, didn't look behind stuff. And I bought about 20 of this style. And this was the style I couldn't find at first. It was the others I was finding a lot of. So, but now I think I've found more of these than the first ones that I got, actually.
Are you selling them online?
I'm going to. I'm just going to, you know, wait till I have some larger items to stick up there too, because I just don't want to sell just the smaller stuff. And this is the busy time of my season, and so I don't know. We'll see. I've definitely got them pictured and
stuff on.
Yeah, I got to find the little thing that downloads the pictures from my digital camera to here.
Hey man,
I haven't added anything to eBay in a long time.
You seem to like it, and I was going through there and I found another one.
Oh, you did?
If you want one, I got you one.
Well, I definitely don't have that issue. Great black cover there up at the top, and just iconic. I mean, Joe Kubert cover, awesome. What issue number is that, Elsie?
This is
that's
issue
back in
number
the
198.
And what was the price on that? 12 cents.
This is
okay.
This
so
is
that's
our
Silver
Army
Age.
at War. Our Army at War.
Yeah, Army at War with Sergeant Rock, and then later they changed the title from Our Army at War with Sergeant Rock to just Sergeant Rock.
You know,
but they continued the numbering.
Yeah.
Huh?
As you know, that Walmart thing that holds comics. Well, these were in there. I had them sitting in there. Just 2 of them. This one and that one. I just had 2 books in there.
Wow. Yeah. This is early 70s. I think that's a partial great. That's a great tone cover.
This is number 99.
Yeah, that's a great tone cover. And that was probably colored by Jack Adler for sure. Absolutely. With all that. It's amazing the different magenta colors that they magenta
Russ Heath, Joe Kubert cover.
Yeah. Now, if you see there's no real blacks there. It's just kind of like a brown sepia tone with the colors laid over, and that's what we call a gray tone cover. I'm really surprised. You know, I'm going to have to put that on my bucket list, maybe for the next project, to have a gray tone cover on the campaign. I think that would be cool. Definitely, because I think gray tone covers, some of the examples, better examples of gray tone covers are just awesome looking. They look different than any other comics you've ever looked at. If you've ever seen a fully gray tone cover or even partial gray tone cover.
That may have been part of the allure of the war comics when I was collecting.
Yeah, a lot of GI combats were done in gray tone by I think Adler, he kind of came up with that and used that in comics. He was the pioneer of that. So
he came up with a lot of stuff that people.
Hopefully, after we do a Buscema, we'll see how that goes, that campaign, and then maybe we can do a Jack Adler book. You know, we definitely got in between I and Elsie, we've got one of the most private collections of, you know, I think out there. This is an Adler right there behind me, and one of the few that were actually matted by and displayed by Jack Adler, and that is that's a date with Debbie. A date with Debbie back there. One of 2 that I have actually matted by Jack Adler. So very cool stuff. Very limited, one of a kind items. Production
hand painted Aquaman that was matted. Had a red mat to it.
My other one is Weird Western Tales with that Jonah Hex came out of. I think that's what it was called, right? Weird Western
Well,
Tales?
I found some cool ones, man.
You're not going
I
to
like
confirm that,
that.
are you?
Weird
You're just
Western,
not listening to
yes.
me, folks. I don't get it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Weird Western Tales #1, artwork by
Ooh.
Bernie Wrights, a very early Barry Windsor Smith.
Barry Windsor Smith.
And I can't tell if that's an original or if that's a reprint, but it's Barry Windsor Smith. Yeah. Cover, and it is matted by Jack Adler. What do you think about new Superman movie? I don't know. I haven't even seen any trailers. Don't really
I've heard.
care. Some of the superhero stuff just doesn't have the allure to me that it does, because I'm tired of going and being let down. Shadowhawks like gray tone covers. Gray tone does it. He with Frank Miller is it. Well, that's different. He doesn't really work in gray toning. Gray toning's in your grayscale. It's not. Frank Miller does a lot of stark black and white with maybe a third color like red, kind of like that Robert Geronimo project we looked at earlier. Shadow, my cat struggles if I stray from routine. Absolutely, routine with any animal is important. All right, gonna get out of here. Got to clock in at 7:15, so I'll probably leave here about 7. That gives me about 15 minutes to do what I have to do to get ready to go. Always have to
on collecting.
always keep one of these in the truck for her to drink out of, and I take my lime bottles and fill them up with water for emergency water, because I drink a lot of lime in my coffee, lime juice. I know that's a little weird, only a little spritzer in there, not much, or it gets too kind of tart, and too tangy. But it takes the bitterness out of the coffee, the bitter taste. And if you have to drink it cold for some reason, it does taste better than just drinking cold black coffee together. Anyway, yeah, I feel, and I keep those in the refrigerator. We have a refrigerator there where we leave out. And hopefully they'll have my tablet working for me, but I really don't care if they fix it. It's probably not going to be fixed.
As long as you get your hours, that's all that matters.
As long as I get my hours, I'm good, boo. So, yeah. Keep collecting, and we will see you when?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock Central tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
4 o'clock.
So take care,
4
all.
o'clock shadow.
Bow for now. 4 o'clock
Go
shadow.
Devil
Right.
Fly.
Not 5 o'clock, not 3 o'clock. Every now and then we'll go early for 3 o'clock, which is 4 on the Eastern time, Yeah.
That's what we do.
We love comics. We love just good conversation, talk about collectibles, movies, whatever. The new Superman movie, I hope it's a good one.
I do
There's
too.
been some gems, I guess you call it good, passable movies. Movies are just so expensive to go to. My God, it costs I and my sister to see one movie $30. That's without concessions or anything,
Well, you went cheap.
Ticket prices are $15. That's
Been
high to
$60
me.
if you'd have got concessions.
Yeah, if you go to McDonald's, you're probably going to spend about $15 anyway. So it's about to do anything except for cook for yourself, and even that's expensive. A box of crackers, saltine crackers, $1.75. Crackers should be like 99 cents. Come on. Almost $2 for just crackers? Come on.
Crackers are good.
Well, I mean, especially with cheese on there, cheese and crackers. But
With
the cheese doesn't.
peanut butter's good too.
Yeah, but that's like $4 for a smaller one too, and that's on the cheap side. That's shopping around. Hopefully inflation will go down here,
Just get what you need and go on.
I saw a rollback on my on my phone service. They went from like almost $32, 31 something to down to $19.99. A little over $20 a month. That's all I want to spend on my phone.
Great.
Service a month. I don't want to spend. I don't see how people do. I don't earn a big enough income to spend $50, $60 or more dollars a month on a phone
you-
service.
Some places like $100.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Keep cool.
Okay.
Think cool thoughts. Bow for
Keep
now.
collecting.
Make sure I'm watching my own show here.
Hey.
And got the chat pulled up. I always like to check and see if I missed
You're
anything.
still alive, my brother.
I know I hadn't hit the end button.
I thought you did.
I may never at this rate.
Okay.
See you.